Hello. Hi. Oh, I'm in charge, I guess. I didn't know that. Hello. Welcome to my debut, I guess, as a GM. Thank you for dropping in. What's up? We are going to play Monster Care Squad, and before we do that, why don't we just sort of pass it on to this gorgeous people around me? Let's start with Jay. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us where we can find you, any projects that you want to tell.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jay. I use they them pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Nolawoo and at Knowledgedraws if you want to see some art. I'm very excited to be here playing this game for the first time. Um, and yeah, I'll save the long plugs for the end.
Yeah. Maya.
Hello, my name is Maya. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me on twitter.com at anxiousmaya or on Twitch also at anxiousmaya. I am planning on returning to streaming at some point in the near future. And I am just a person who's really happy to be here and really excited to play this game because this game sounds fucking awesome and I've never heard of it before we started learning about it. So I'm like super hyped for this. I was like, oh.
We'll be fine. Chris, it's your turn.
Hi, my name's Chris or Christiana. You can find me at Carpe Christie on Twitter. And I'm also super excited to be playing this game with some super awesome people who are all Asian. And we are going to rock your world.
Yeah. And finally, April.
Hey everyone, I am April. You can find me as April again, and I am super excited. Like Maya, I also didn't hear about this game, and now I just can't wait to play it.
Yay. And you know who I am. I mean, if hi, I'm Glyza. They them really exploring that thing right now. I'm a person of many hats. I'm a podcaster, a writer, a streamer, a TTRPG personality, whatever, and a talk show host, apparently. But find everything I do by just going to Classical Glyza on Twitter because that's where I post anything and everything that I am doing. Now, let's start this game. Welcome to Aldemora. Aldemora is a peaceful land that hasn't seen much in the way of fighting or war for centuries. It is a land filled with wonder. It is a land filled with monsters. And the monsters and the humans have been working together all of these hundreds of years. And that's how it's always been. Until one day. And what had happened is Tanaris Mall is the name of the city that was the site of the first attack of the false gold. Now, it's been 5 years since the elder wyvern Arumat, the wings that shake the heaven, had wreaked havoc upon the great city, leaving thousands of refugees in their wake. Now, we know a lot more about the situation than we did in the past, yet there are still many questions that we can't answer. As monster specialists that you'll be meeting later, there are a couple of things that you know about the false gold that we didn't know then. One, gold is the marker. A very obvious sign of a monster afflicted with a disease is that liquid that flows from its eyes is tinted in gold. The wound itself has little specks of gold in it. That's why it's called the false gold. The behavior of the monsters, they distance themselves, followed by anxiety, and then unexpected and extreme rage, usually because they're in pain. Another thing that you can see with the monsters is violent fluctuations in abilities and powers. Some of their powers disappear suddenly, gets replaced. It becomes more powerful. It becomes weaker. It affects the people around them. The monsters are definitely struggling. Another thing that you can see when the false gold is inflicted upon a monster is that they do change in appearances. It includes unusual growths that just looks different. Now, my dear specialists, currently, you are in the library known as the 67th Historian Society Library. Every day, you come here waiting for information about what would be your first assignment. You can't help but think about the many, many things that finally brought you here. Who were you before the false goal? What were you doing 5 years ago before Arumat attacked Tanaris Mall? Were you at Tanaris Mall or somewhere else? What made you decide to become specialists? Dr. Kalem Sindra, who were you before the false gold?
Why am I first? Okay, cool. I had forgotten to think about this beforehand. Which you literally told us to do two things before this game. You told us to make our sheet and think about these questions. And I barely
come
made
up
the
with
sheet.
stuff. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So I actually do know the answer to the first question. Can you say what it's called again? The event?
It was the attack, the false gold attack. Who were you before, the false gold started appearing around Aldemoro?
I need to apologize. My brain's not processing the word that you're saying. False something?
False gold.
Oh,
Fake
false gold. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
that's the name
Sorry.
of the disease.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so before that happened, I was a cardiovascular surgeon. I was the chief of surgery at this hospital that I named. It's the RLC University Hospital. I think this hospital was located in the city where it started. But I was the surgical chief of cardio. I have since retired from surgery, and I was teaching medicine at the Connected Medical School. That's like connected and associated with this hospital. And that answered the questions, right?
Yeah.
Or was there another
Yeah,
part?
it did. I was just
Okay.
wondering, do you remember what happened? Do you remember what you were doing when Arumat attacked? When the wings that shake the earth attacked Tanaris Mall? You said you were in the city at that time.
Yeah, likely I was teaching, probably, as a professor. I likely was teaching a class, and I think I saw some of the wreckage and carnage firsthand, and that made me want to help out however I can,
Right.
especially because I couldn't be a heart surgeon anymore.
Right.
Because I got old. I got a little bit too old. My hands are not as steady as they once were, but so I went back to school and I studied again, and now I try to help where I can.
Right. Right. Indira, who are you before the false gold happened? What were you doing 5 years ago before Arumat attacked Tanaris Mall?
5 years ago, I was a clinical therapist. I mostly focused on victims of trauma, whether it be physical or mental or emotional trauma, and I was saving up to open up my own practice.
Oh. Were you in the city at the time?
I was, yeah. The day of the attack was actually the day that I had received the keys to this dingy little office, and I was there with all my stuff. And it wasn't a cute place, but I bought some paint. I had all my plants, paintings that some of my clients had made for me, and I was starting to set up my office that day.
Did it get destroyed in the attack?
Yeah.
Oh no!
It did. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sure Arumat didn't mean it. What made you decide to be a specialist?
Well, I don't remember much about the day. And it mostly just comes to me in dreams, which I do find fascinating because I study that as part of my understanding of therapy. And I remember being on a ladder, like a step stool type thing, painting, and the building shook and I fell. And when I woke up, all I just remember was like someone carrying me. There was a smell of mint. And these are kind of just all the things that I've gleaned throughout my dreams. And for a while, they actually went away, and I was just content to live my life as a civilian. But the dreams have come back recently. So I decided that I needed to do something about it, that this feeling of, something of unfinished business is really prevalent in my life. So I went back and I studied, and now I think I'm ready.
Awesome. Joe, who are you before the false god? What were you doing 5 years ago, before Arumat attacked Tanaris Mall?
So I was an elementary school teacher.
Mhm.
I think I was in the city when it happened. I think the school that I taught at happened to be in the city. I'm not 100% sure if there's like a specific time of day that it happened, but I was kind of imagining that it happened sort of like as school was in the process of starting to let out. So a lot of kids had already been picked up by their parents, but there was like the sort of after school group, like the kids who get signed up to like hang out with the teachers and have snacks and get helped with their homework after school hours when their parents work a little later. And when everything sort of broke bad, uh, it was kind of like a mad dash to
Mhm.
just like corral a bunch of confused kids who probably didn't understand the full gravity of the situation to someplace a little safer.
Right.
And sort of seeing all of that and like I don't know if this is accurate, but I feel like if I saw like if I had an idea of the pain that the monster was in, I think it really had like an effect on me and is sort of what led me to want to
Be a
do
specialist.
the specialist
Mhm.
career path.
Okay. Marlo, who are you before the false gold? What were you
Uh,
doing 5 years ago?
Wow, everyone has like such a connection. I don't think Marlo was there. I think
Oh.
Marlo was an intern on a documentary
Mhm.
crew, and they were out searching for animals. And so Marlo didn't see any of this, came back like 2 days later to finding out about everything. It's like, oh, that's bad. It's really bad. And has decided to go into this to learn more and kind of help with their whole, I'm going to be a documentary person and journalist, and I'm going to study these animals and figure out why this is happening. I'm going to solve the case. So they're having more of a different approach to
A different
everything.
approach. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, thinking about the past inevitably, started making you think about your current predicament. You see, there's no set time for a specialist to be ready to go on their first assignment. Some take months, some take years. The Tanara Small Specialist Academy was one of the first academies to open, if not the first. And you believed it would be the best academy to attend just because it's connected to the 67th Historian Society Library. Speaking of that, anybody, how long have you been training to be a specialist? And what exactly made you decide, okay, I'm ready now? So we can start with Marlo.
I think they've been training for about a year.
Okay.
They've done a lot of field work in animals, and after everything happened, before there was any real schools, they went out with some of the first like journalism teams to kind of cover things. So they weren't in it super long, enough to learn enough skills to just throw them in the field.
Okay. Awesome. What about Joe?
I think 4 years. I think she sort of wrapped up her like semester as best she could with all of the chaos going on, and then went straight to the school. So maybe like 4.5 years or 4 years.
Okay. Indira.
She studied for about 2 years.
Mhm.
It was kind of on and off. Like she started and then stopped, and then recently, I want to say like 6 months, she's really been focused on it and finished.
Okay. And finally, Dr. Caleb.
I think for me, I started studying 5 years ago, but it also has been kind of on and off because I've still been teaching
Mhm.
between that. So it's kind of like I teach university by the day, and then at night I would take like night classes essentially to try to learn more about this area and this
Mhm.
field of medicine, which I had not known anything about prior, but also who did. So, um, just kind of trying to learn. And so I've been studying, I guess you could say part time for the past 5 years.
Awesome. Awesome. Um, what was it? What was the choice? What was the moment that you were like, okay, now I'm ready? Because you all had to submit a little bit of a paper, a little bit of a letter to your mentor to tell them that, hey, I'm ready to go. What was it? What made you decide to do that?
Again, for Indira, it was just the that reoccurring dream of the night, and
Right.
not really remembering fully what happened.
Mhm.
That spurred her on, and she just has like this unbridled passion now for the truth.
Awesome. And Dr. Caleb,
I'm sorry, what was the question?
what was it that made you decide you were ready?
Um, I think Dr. Sintra is very stubborn,
Mhm.
and I think they've been insisting for the past couple years that they're ready.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I think like whoever assigns the assignments um hadn't assigned me to anything yet,
Mhm.
to my
Mhm.
surprise and confusion, because I'm capable, I am talented, I am smart, and yet you
And
don't want my
yet,
help? Okay. I'll take my professor job. It's fine. Focus on my students. Um, but yeah, I think I've been writing letters this whole time, or I guess
interesting.
emails. Writing emails
Yeah,
this whole time
emails.
saying,
Yeah.
let me at them.
Marlo, did you answer that question when I asked it?
No, but
Okay.
I was about to. I was letting everybody else get their answers in. Marlo has probably wanted to go back out since day one,
Mm.
and has been writing that letter like every week since they started. And it was that like, oh crap, they accepted it this time. Okay, I gotta go.
It's happening this time.
Yeah, it's really happening. They believed me.
Joe.
I think that it was kind of a situation of she's probably been, because unlike the other folks, except not Marlo, she's been like just doing this for the past
Mhm.
4 years and like really studying. So I think it's been a situation of she's been ready for like the past 2 or 3 years,
Mhm.
but she's sort of like, I'm not there yet. Like I'm
Gotta
not
keep
ready.
learning.
I gotta keep. There's a lot I don't know. I wouldn't be of use on the field yet. Like I gotta just keep doing this. And her mentor's like, come on. Until finally her sort of mentor, whoever it is, that sort of like does the okay, sort of like submitted it for her and was like, you're ready. She's like,
She just chose you. She's like, you're fine.
Yeah.
We're
Opposite
doing
vibes
this.
of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Opposite vibes.
Just how about for a practice assignment? Just write the letter. Let's see what it would look like.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, oh,
draft it
I
out
got
for
it.
me.
Oh well.
Draft it out for me and hit this and like sign it. And I was like, okay. And then I got tripped.
Awesome. Okay. Well, those are all very great, noble reasons to decide that you're ready. You're actually waiting at the library. Now, why don't you just sort of tell me what you look like right now and what you're doing at the library while you're waiting for a message from your mentor to tell you that, hey, it's time to go.
I think Joe is just sort of like, well, we're doing like appearances right now. We're doing like state of mind.
Appearances.
Okay. Yeah. So I think Joe is just a sort of mid to late 30s Korean woman. She's got long, sort of like black hair that she has braided to get out of her way, and glasses that I wish I had found some to wear on stream, but I couldn't find any that weren't prescription and would fuck with me. And glasses and just sort of like, you know, like hiking boots, like jeans, and like a flannel, sort of like I can get dirty and I can run in this sort of if I need to like get
just
up. And she's kind of just
immediately ready.
Yeah. And a big old backpack, like a big one.
Awesome.
Like one of those like packs that you can tell is like stuffed with all of like the different I'm okay, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
So.
Marlo, what do you look like and what are you doing in the library currently?
Marlo's probably just not probably Marlo. I can tell you what Marlo's doing. I'm allowed to do that. That's my character. Marlo's like sitting in a chair, legs up on the table, feet up on the table, and like boots and not like kind of safari-esque. Think of the main chick from Jurassic Park, but like pants version and a hat, ready to go off in like a little vest. She's a Korean girl, very short hair, tied up very tight. Can't let any hair down. Something might grab it like an animal. You never know.
Yeah.
And is like going through their monster manual book of all the things that they could see and just like making little notes in their journal.
Awesome. Indira, what do you look like today and what are you doing while you're waiting for some sort of message from your mentor?
Yeah, Indira looks like she kind of just threw a bunch of comfy clothes together, but like she still looks presentable. She's wearing makeup. She, her fingernails are clean, things like that. But she's, wearing a striped shirt and some suspenders and like really comfortable, loose fitting slacks that might be like a size or two too big. You don't know how long her hair is because she has it wrapped up and there's like a little bit of gray peeking out here and there. She looks to be about mid to late 30s. And she has like a very small backpack on her back it's just like a black canvas-y looking thing on it or on her. And yeah, she's got glasses like somewhere.
Yeah. Dr. Sintra. Dang it. Sinatra is in my head. Dr. Sintra, what are you currently doing right now? What do you look like? What are you doing while you're waiting for a text from your mentor?
Dr. Sintra is tall and slender, about 5'10". They have black hair with a gray streak. It's cut very short, undercut, and it's kept very neat and professional looking. They have trimmed and neat facial hair and are wearing, it's basically what I'm wearing, a white lab coat and a red formal Mandarin collar shirt with a set of pearls. And most peculiar, they are wearing sunglasses indoors. I am currently sitting at a table with my assistant person because one of the moves is teacher and student, and I have someone who travels with me. So sitting next to me is one of my apprentices, a med student named Dakota Amani Lin. They are also pretty tall, kind of like slender, similar to me. They're Blasian, and they wear colorful vintage clothing, also with a lab coat worn over. I am currently relaying a laundry list of instructions to him, and he is writing everything down to pass it on to one of my TAs regarding some test that I am giving my students later in the week.
Awesome. And you do see Dakota just sort of like trying to get everything written down, and they're paying attention. This is not the first time you've done this, and they're very focused on that and making sure they get every single word that you say. While
Oh, I
you're
forgot to
doing
note, I'm in my 60s. I forgot to note that. I'm
Okay.
like mid 60s age wise.
awesome.
But I don't look it. I look younger. As most Asians do.
As most
Asians don't
Asians
raisin.
do. Exactly. I could be 75, you never know. Anyway, while you're all doing this, while you're all like sitting down and doing your thing, you do get a text message. And the text is actually in the chat, but I'll read it out anyway. This is the text that you receive from your mentor. And it says, "Hey team," with a lot of E's and A's, a lot of exclamation marks. So, first of all, congratulations on totally being ready to meet the world and to make your first moves as a specialist. I couldn't be prouder of you! Exclamation mark. Having said that, there's like some very big problems happening and we have to fix it immediately. Please meet me at the room 5436 at once! Exclamation mark. What do you all do?
What in the MLM pitch shit is this?
That is a text message that you receive from your mentor.
I know, it's just funny.
I think Joe would start power walking towards that room and then kind of stop and like look behind her to make sure everyone's sort of like moving with her.
Okay.
Yeah. Vera is like wiggly and like she's like clenching and unclenching, like, all right, it's time. And like trying to hype herself up, basically.
I think
Awesome.
as you're trying to hype yourself up, you hear behind you, "It's time! It's go time! It's happening! We're doing it! We got this one, right? Everyone, let's go!" And is like charging behind Joe.
Yeah.
And picking up the rear, I am finishing telling Dakota this. That I've been talking this whole time, just like lots of instructions, things to do, blah blah blah. I'm unloading my calendar on him, making sure he's got all my scheduling, all up to shape and up to my standards. And I'm finishing off that list, and then I just stand up once I receive the text. I read it, and then I just nod once, stand up, grab my bag. And look at Dakota and I say, on me, and we start walking.
Upon reaching the room, you open it and you see what looks to be a teenager. Very, very young. And you know this as your mentor, Ro. You know she looks like a teenager, like really young, but you know she's not really a teenager. You know she's much, much, much older than anyone you've ever met. See, a couple of things that you do know about your mentor is that her personality changes when she transforms, and every morning she wakes up one of four, one of four of them. Ro, the teenager, Aurora, the sweet, caring young adult, Ma'am Aurora, the sort of middle school strict teacher, the one that, is very strict, and Lola Auring, the very tired grandmother matriarch. Currently, she is Ro, and she is squat sitting on a chair. And Ro, as you know her, is usually very excitable, just like her text message. But she looks very worried right now. And she looks at all four of me. It's like, "Yo, I'm just so glad you're here because something is going on and I don't know how to like explain it. Usually I get the message and then I'll send the assignment, but this feels different." And as she's saying that, she grabs her head and you can see that her hair starts turning white and she starts bending over, and in front of you from the teenager Ro is now Lola Auring. And this is the first time you've ever seen her transform. She's like, "Oh, crap. Yeah, I think something's wrong because this doesn't happen."
What can you tell us? How can we help?
It probably has something to do with Kachuka. And Kachuka, again, you would know this because Kachuka is one of the more well-known monsters of Aldemora. Kachuka is a giant mountain-sized octopus that travels through the world like the world was the ocean. Like, she can go through mountains, she can go through plains. You can touch her, but if she so decides, you can't. So she just faces in and out. She is known as a time traveler as well, because in your studies about Kachuka, you know that centuries ago, she has already passed away in a war. That is Kachuka. But, in this world, when you do a favor for a monster, you become monster touched. And Lola Aureng, currently right now, is someone that you know is monster touched. And by this, that means she's been blessed by Kachuga. And because of that, they are what's the word? They change every morning. They don't change every minute, like what's happening right now. It's something that happens when they wake up. So this time she's telling you something is going on. I'm changing more than I should be. We need to go to the train city. We need to go to Kulia Malls immediately, right now, and solve this issue. You do have an hour to prepare during this time, and we'll be doing a little bit of rolls here. We'll be rolling a couple of things, but she gives you an hour to get all of your things ready and to meet you outside. And you're surprised because she never goes on any of this assignments. You've heard other specialists and they've always been like, oh, here's your assignment, go, I'll see you right here. This is the first time that she's going. And that's how you know that this is a pretty serious situation. So let's go to our character sheets. The first thing that we're going to do is I want everyone to roll their acuity. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. Acuity. Sweet. Everybody rolls acuity and tell me what you get. Please make sure to add your bonuses if you have it.
And that's 2d6.
Yes,
right?
2d6 plus your bonuses.
And the bonus is the big number next to it, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Ooh, wow, that was really good.
7?
I got a 12.
12. Awesome.
Overachiever.
Joe?
Sorry, I got a 3.
Okay, 3. And then what about Marlo?
6. Sorry, I was muted.
That's okay. All right. So this will determine your supply. So technically now you have all right. So currently, if you could take note, you have 7 plus 7 in supply. So this is the this is a pool. Yeah, this is a pool that you have that you can access. Anybody can access at any time, especially if I say burn 1 supply, something like that. Okay, so you have, am I right? 7 plus 7? Yeah. All right. And then we're gonna do a roll again. Let's see. Everybody roll fine, please.
You just so happen to pick the 2 that I have the +1 in. Holy shit.
6, 4, 6. What'd you get, Dr. Sidra?
I promise I'm not lying. I got a 13. I rolled a 12 +1.
Holy shit.
All right.
Living up to
The
their
doctor
character.
is leading everything.
Yeah.
What the
Dr.
hell?
Dr. Sintra, ask me one question. Actually, since you rolled really well, ask me 2 questions about what I said during the whole thing, like the city, the train city, Kachuka, and I will answer these 2 questions as honestly as I can.
Oh, jeez. Pressure.
Yeah.
And it stinks because my auditory processing disorder is really acting up for some reason, and I caught almost none of what you monologued about, and I feel really bad.
That's okay. I didn't monologue that much. So you can just basically it's Kachuka, the giant octopus that
Yes,
travels
I got
through
mountain-sized
whatever.
octopus that travels the world and phases in and out as a time
Yes.
traveler, and that Kachuka has already passed away in a war.
Yes, in the past.
In the past.
Yes. There's written records of Kachuka dying.
Okay.
And then you are going on you're gonna basically go to the train city called Kuyumals.
Okay. I heard Train City, but then I wasn't sure if that's what you said, but okay, Train City.
Yep.
And then the city is named what?
Kuyumals. I'll type it in chat.
How might I spell that? Yes, please. Thank you. And so I can ask you 2 questions about anything. Hey fellow players, if any of you have ideas, please let me know.
Are
Malls,
there
okay,
records of how it was defeated?
Kachuka?
Yeah. That
Well,
would be
Kachuka, basically what you do know about Kachuka is actually, I'm gonna pull that up in a minute. All right. So you know that Kachuka doesn't experience time like we do. It experiences time like one continuous ocean. A lot of people have said that Aldemora's oldest people have been visited by them when they were young, hanging out with them, playing with them like an old friend, and then later acting like they've never met.
okay.
One of the oldest tomes that Aldemora has is that Kachuka's passing died during the time of Steel, during the time when monsters were used against other humans in wars. Her death has already occurred during that time. And a lot of people have been trying to find a way to change that. They don't know if it's been successful or not because only Kachuka really knows the time passing or whatever. But plenty of people have been trying to stop that death from happening, even though it's been written in like the oldest book. Some people hope that book will, when that book disappears, that means Kachuka survives. But currently, it's still there.
So, above the table question, is Ro asking us to find Kachuka and stop her death?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
Kachuka, it seems that whatever is happening to Kachuka is causing Ro or to change to Lola Auring or Ma'am Aurora.
Basically,
something is happening and it's affecting her as well.
Yeah, so it's like what Glyza mentioned earlier on about how sometimes one of the signs of the false gold is their power, the monster's powers going kind of crazy. So I think this is Ro is taking this as a sign of something being wrong with Kachuka, which is a problem because they're like bonded and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't think we have like a specific mission yet, but I think the general idea is we're trying to help somehow, and
Yeah.
something's wrong.
Cool.
All right.
Trying
One
to
more
think
question.
of.
You can also ask questions about Ro. She is your biggest clue right now of what's happening.
That's a good point because Ro isn't supposed to be changing this much.
Mhm.
We know that she's like ancient.
Yeah.
Is what kind was Ro monster touched by Pachuca?
Yeah, Kachuga, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I
Wait,
asked
April,
that
what
as
was
if
the-
it was a big deal, but apparently everyone else knew that already.
Oh.
I was not paying enough attention.
No.
What was the question that you already asked April for the first question?
How did they die?
How did Kachuga die
Oh, okay. Yep.
in the past?
Asking the players. I'm not asking this as the question yet. I want to ask the players about this question first.
Don't worry.
What thoughts about asking about how one would, I don't know if summon is the right word, but locate Kachuka?
I was thinking that too.
If it would be
Yeah.
worth trying to communicate with
Yeah.
her to see if she would know anything about Ro's condition.
Like
that's a good
where
one.
would we find them, or where, or like how would we call them to us if they're not something that can be like found?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
like that. I was
okay.
thinking of that earlier.
Then yes, Kaliza, that is my question. I'd like
Would
to
you
know
mind
about...
repeating that question again?
Of course. How would we as specialists go about locating or summoning Kachuka to us so that we can ask her some questions
Well,
about Ro's condition?
the good news is that she's really big, so it's kind of hard not to spot her. Another good news is she usually travels with the train city.
Okay, that's pretty
And
good.
that's where
So
we're
we already have
going,
to
correct?
go there. That's where we're going.
Awesome.
That's where Rose like taking us right now after we get trapped. Okay.
Yes. So, an hour has passed, and you were able to collect as many supplies as you could in that limited time, which isn't pretty bad. That's 7, a pool of 7 supplies that might be needed for healing and the adventure itself. Yes.
Can I ask a really fast question?
Yeah.
On one of my things, Pack Rat says that I have I begin every session with 5 prep. Is that something similar, or is that like a different thing altogether?
Let me just check that.
Just my gigantic backpack full of crap.
How big is your backpack compared to your
It's
body?
large. I would say it takes
Like
up
a hiking bag?
Yes,
The ones
like
that go all the way
like
up?
my
Yeah.
torso, like up to my past my head.
Prep is
Good.
different from a supply, but
Okay, got
it sort of works similarly.
Okay.
So
Okay. Thank you. Just wanted to ask. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay. So when you guys are done and you all go back downstairs to the front of the library, you do see, hey, it's your strict middle-aged strict but fair teacher that meets you. It's Ma'am Aurora, and you are greeted with James. He is a redheaded, pale as pale can be, kind of tall, and is standing next to Ma'am Aurora. Ma'am Aurora is still holding her head while James is trying to, sort of like support her. And then she looks at you. Good. I'm glad you're all here. I hope you're ready because we don't have enough time. The Kuliamals is stopping by the station soon, and we need to be on there before they're ready to leave. Please get into the car. And without another word, Mama Aurora slides into the van and waits for the 4 of you to just get in.
Would it be the 5 of us because Dakota's coming?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Dakota.
Interns don't
it's
count.
the big van is big enough.
Interns aren't people.
The big van is enough to fit. You do see Dakota just running because he's a little bit late. He's like carrying all the other stuff. It's like, wait, I'm here, and it's like jumps right in. So you're all in the car. I mean, in the van. It's a big van.
Can I take shotgun if no one else is gonna take shotgun?
Ma'am Aurora is taking shotgun next.
Oh,
to
I
James.
thought she was driving. Oh,
No,
James is driving.
James is
Never
driving.
mind.
Probably
Okay.
wouldn't be good for the person who keeps transforming to drive. Does she get
Yes.
shorter or taller?
She
Or
gets shorter and
loses
weaker.
access to the pedals.
Yeah. She's like, oh no.
Imagine. Damn.
All right. During the trip, Mama Aurora keeps switching from old to young to middle age and to young again. And it's just, she's quiet as if lost in thought. And she's looking out the window and she's changing and changing. And it's getting faster and faster. Go ahead.
Can I say that I sat in the chair in the middle row behind her? And can I try and ask her, I think I'm gonna try to get her attention by calling her name. And then I'm gonna pull out a stethoscope.
Which name are you gonna call?
Well, how fast is she changing? Because I'll call her by the name of the current identity, but if it's going too fast,
it might be going too fast for you to tell which she is, because she's changing pretty quickly.
Okay, then I think I'll just call her Aurora.
Okay. What's up? I can't. Yeah, what?
Your transformations are getting faster. Can I
Yeah.
listen? Can I listen to your heart? Will you let me do that?
Sure. I don't think you'll be able to really tell what's happening.
Just lean forward for me.
Okay. And
I'm gonna put my stethoscope like on her back,
mhm.
to just like check her vitals if I can, like see like what's up.
Roll acuity for me, please. Acuity. Dang it.
Acuity.
So used to saying it like that.
8. This dice has not never rolled a 6 so far.
It's you can tell that something is moving around, but like it not really moving, but it's like things are shifting, but not enough that it's like
her organs, or
her organs seem to be getting smaller or bigger, but it's very subtle that you can't really pinpoint what's changing and what's not. But you do sort of feel that something weird is going on.
How's her actual heartbeat? Like, is her heartbeat really, really fast, or is
No, it's steady.
Steady. Huh.
It just seems like it's changing.
Is everything else normal then? Like blood pressure, all that other stuff?
Yep. All of her stuff is normal. She seems like a very tired old lady, but she seems healthy. James looks at everyone and says, "Hey, are you all excited for your first assignment?"
I think Joe is like sorting through her, like the bag is like between her knees and she's like double checking to make sure everything's in there, and she's kind of not paying attention, but she's like, yes, really.
Yeah. I was a specialist like on after the first month of the attack. You know, we were one of the first, weren't we, Rora? And Rora, as you know, as James says, Rora, Mom Aurora this time, the middle-aged, smiles for the first time on the trip, and you notice somehow that the change is slow to a stop. And she goes, "Yeah, I remember, James. And then James goes, do you want me there? And Ma'am Aurora goes, no, James. And that was the only conversation that they had during the whole trip. They basically ignore each other. But you're still in the car, so you guys can still talk before you arrive at the station.
Indira has taken a window seat on either side, in the middle row of the van, and she's just kind of like fidgeting, a little bit nervous, trying to calm herself, like tapping, and she's mumbling something kind of rhythmically under her breath, and I don't know if anyone's sitting next to her, but if you were, you would probably hear, Soldier boy off in this hole. Watch me crank it, watch me roll. Watch me crank that soldier boy, the Superman, the hell no. Watch me you. Watch me you.
You're muted on the Google Meets, by the way.
Oh no.
If you didn't, sorry for the people who weren't, who were using only the thing. She was rapping. It was the best. All right. Well, nothing really happens. It's great.
I was going to say that I think after that sort of exchange between James and Ma'am Aurora, I think Joe kind of like looks at, I think, whatever window seat Indira's at. She's like on the opposite one. She kind of like knows that Indira was a therapist and kind of like looks over at her like, did that make any sense to you? Was that weird? What was that?
Is that your professional opinion?
Is that all right? Well, anyway, if there's nothing else,
that's all we talk about the whole trip.
That's all. Just like
Kevin knows that.
And it's just silence because but the whole time though, Ma'am Aurora is just smiling and casting glances at James, and James is like looking at Aurora, and they're both lost in thought, and Aurora hasn't changed. She remains Ma'am Aurora this entire time. You do arrive at the station and you all exit to see Kuliam Malls. Kuliam Malls is a rail-based train city. It speeds through the world of Aldamora. It is it's 200 carts, train carts connected to each other. And they basically stop and travel all around Aldamora. And basically, they spend think Snowpiercer, but happy. Basically, think Snowpiercer, but happy. Nobody eats really weird things. Everyone is just really happy, and everyone has access to the every trade cart. And this is everybody who it is one of the best, one of the dreams of every child to become what they call a rail rider. I had a different name for it, and then I realized I shouldn't say that on stream. So I wasn't gonna say it, but they're rail riders. And they're very excited, and they are stopping for about 15 minutes on Tenari Small because they just wanted to, people wanted to get off the train, people wanted to visit family. You do see that Ma'am Aurora just immediately walks into one of the carts, and she is completely at home here. And then she looks at you, Five, and goes, well, what are you waiting for?
We follow her.
This is I'm sure you're aware of Coolio Malls. This is the train. There are many places that you can go. Kachuka usually follows this train once a day. Sometimes she appears in the morning, sometimes at dinner time. This is our best shot of getting to Kachuka.
Ma'am Aurora, do you
Yes.
know how best to communicate with Kachuka?
Kachuka can talk. Kachuka can speak. Let's say, even though she has no obvious mouth to speak with, she can reach anybody that wants to speak to her. And then Ma'am Aurora comes into the to the cart, and as soon as she enters in, she convulses a little bit, and she changes into Lola Auring. And the change somehow this time was very violent, and it causes her to collapse. And the people around her are just like catching her.
Yeah, I immediately go to check her vitals again.
Okay. Roll acuity for me, please.
7.
She seems fine. She's just asleep.
That's not normal, is it?
A tall gentleman comes through. James is gone, by the way. The train has moved on. A tall gentleman comes through, and he introduces himself as Mayor Jericho. Hello, my name is Mayor Jericho, and you're asking me if this is normal. Well, it's been a normal thing in the past few weeks.
How long has this been happening?
A few weeks. Let's talk at the infirmary. And he does point to some of his assistants, and they do carry Lola Auring, and takes her to this cart very nearby, and it is an infirmary cart. And you do see not just her in the bed, but she is the only one that seems to, her hair seems to be changing still, like as she is, asleep, it's changing. But she's not the only one really stuck in a weird loop in this infirmary. Everyone seems to be talking, but then repeating themselves, or somebody's looping and like doing the same action again and again, but they're all in this cart. Yeah, that's what a train cart is.
How many people?
Currently, right now, there are 8 in this cart right now.
Are these all, I guess I turn to the mayor, are these all people who have been touched by Kachuka, or is this random?
No, only Kachuka is very picky on who she chooses. Only Rora here is touched. And you do see that only Aurora is changing physically. The rest are stuck in loops. They don't change, but they are stuck in like loops of actions.
The mayor included?
No, just the people who are sick, technically, in the sick bay.
I wonder if there's like a time warp somewhere and they've all been there. Do you know if all of these people were in the same place? If they have something in common in that regards?
I can tell you exactly what they have in common. They were in the same area. Not all of them were, located together, but they were in the same area whenever Kachuka appeared. See, Alvin here, who's basically like just sort of like doing this the whole time and just staring. See, Alvin here, he was doing a bit of a run in the gym, and when we found him, he was lying down and all he was doing was this. And then you see another one. This is Mary Beth, and you see Mary Beth like just sort of like doing like eating motions. She was in Mary's diner when we found her. We don't know where Kachuka usually appears, but in the past 2 weeks, whenever she does, and anyone caught in her web, or not web, in her presence, they get stuck in a loop. I don't know what's happening to Rora though.
But these people were all in different locations in the city.
Yes.
And
in the city, in the train cart city, yes.
And they just happened to be in her presence whenever she showed up that day.
I believe that's the case. We don't see it. Basically, I haven't seen it happen. The thing is, if you are a witness, like there's no witness. Basically, if you are there, you get caught, and we just find you. We're trying to figure out a way to make sure Kachuka appears in an empty cart, but this is a cart. There are 15,000 of us, and there's a lot of people in this cart and in this train, and we can't decide where she's gonna appear again. And then you hear whispers from Aurora. Well, Lola ring right now. And you hear her say, remember. Remember. Remember.
Remember what?
Remember. She's not responding other than saying, remember. Remember.
Okay. I'm gonna turn to like the group. What do we know about Lola? Like her history. Do we know anything? Maybe she's subconsciously trying to give us a hint.
We are now entering the diagnosis stage. So go ahead and look at anything that you can see here, and you have access to actions in the diagnosis stage.
Does anyone know how to switch the tab on the Excel sheet on iPad?
Normally the little tabs are still there at the bottom of the iPad, are they not?
They're gone.
Huh. I know not then.
It's also, I can send you a link of the moves in a different way. Give me one moment. It's a bit harder to see though with this one, but it is in the chat now.
Oh, actually, I just reloaded it, and now the tabs are on the bottom, so I'm good.
Okay, cool. So there's a couple of things that you can do. You can either pull a thread and roll and ask for more information. You can follow the trail, go check out some clues, tracks, pull a thread is more asking people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Follow the trail is more physically going somewhere, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I have a move called negotiations.
Okay.
And it's like listed as a diagnosis.
Okay.
Thing. Is that something that I could use because we know Aurora?
Yeah, you could try. Go. When you bargain, reason or otherwise, try to get something you need from a human being with words and promises. Okay.
I just don't know if it's relevant in this situation.
I mean,
but it is.
right now, I don't think it applies because she's not responsive.
Right.
She's just saying remember again and again and again.
Okay.
I think while people are taking care of Roro, I'll be like, I think I'll best help. I'm gonna go check out some of the locations that people were where they saw and see if there's any clues, and I'm gonna like follow the trail.
Okay. Let's do follow the trail and go ahead and roll your acuity.
As she's going, I'm gonna say, like, do you want company? Should one of us come with you? Or
I mean, just in case.
okay. Do you guys? I can go with her. Is there anything you want to do here, or does anyone else want to like go explore?
I can stay with the doctor.
Okay. I wanted to sort of look around as well, so this works.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Call if you need anything. I have stuff in my backpack for every
We
situation.
all have cell phones, so
Haha,
Yeah.
perfect.
this is a cell phone world
Yeah. All
with
right.
trains and airplanes and spaceships. I love this place.
Is
All right.
there any advantage for two of us doing this, or
Yeah, if there's anything I can do with like a help action or anything like that.
what's your acuity?
Acuity. My acuity, I don't think it's that good.
Mine's a +0.
Mine's also +0.
Okay.
I have a +1.
Well, you're not going with them, are you?
I'm not going with them.
So
You're being a doctor.
you're being a doctor in there.
I'm
All right.
doing my job.
I'll let you both roll, and whoever is higher, I'll
Okay.
take.
Ooh. 2d6, yes?
Yes. And also remember, you can add a d4 if you can convince me that your thingy that your acuity thing applies. Having said that, you can only use it once during the session.
Oh, I might wait then.
Is it once total for our 5 stats, or is it once per stat per session?
So it's once per stat
Okay.
per session. So like
Okay.
if you're gonna use grappling, you can add your 1d8, 1d4, but that's it. You can't use the grappling anymore as a thing.
Yeah, I got a 7.
I also got a 7.
All right.
Wow, which one's better?
Go ahead. I want one of you to pick one thing. Pick one of the following. During your exploration, you disturb something that shouldn't have been disturbed, or you lose the trail but find yourself something interesting anyway, or 3, you break something important.
I like the second one, but I also like the first one. How do you feel, April?
Like the first one, but for some reason it just makes me think that we find an old god and like Cthulhu's gonna pop out of a train car for some reason, and I don't know why.
There's a giant octopus. It's only natural to make that
That's
progression.
that. You know what?
Uh,
That's why it came up.
There's a giant
them-
octopus.
Can you say the first two one more time for me, please?
You
Sorry.
disturb something that shouldn't have been disturbed. You lose the trail, but find yourself somewhere interesting anyway. You break something important.
I like the second one.
Okay,
you-
let's go second one.
You okay with that? Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Awesome.
both are good.
They are great.
One
So I'm kinda
Cthulhu
like-
pops out, the other one we find our way to the cult. Either way, it's
Yeah.
great.
It's as you're moving along, you realize that the carts, they don't follow a certain pattern. And sometimes when you look back, the cart that you were in doesn't seem like the cart that you were going from. It feels like every time you enter a new cart, the cart before you and the cart in front of you looks completely different. You are though entering You enter this rail cart that is you can tell that it's one of the oldest ones, probably the oldest one, and you can see that there's a model of Ald Amora, like the world, just like dominating the whole carriage, across the walls and ceiling. It's like a big map. But something else that you notice though is the smell of really bad mold. But the mold looks like it's taken care of. It doesn't look like this whole place looks like the mold isn't, how's the word? They're not trying to stop it from, like, the mold is on purpose.
They're like caring for it. They're like growing it.
Yes.
We only went one direction, correct? There's
Yes.
not. We couldn't have. I was in character.
Oh,
talking. We didn't
Yeah.
turn. How did that?
No,
How did we get? That's not.
I don't know. I was keeping track. I thought I was keeping track. Okay.
Is that why should we be concerned about the mold?
I don't know.
It can't be healthy.
My general consensus whenever I see mold is it's probably not good, but like it looks like taken care of. Hello? Is there anybody?
hello.
Mold caretaker. Oh,
And you do see a very a short person standing in front of you.
Oh.
Hello. Well, not standing in front of you, like just walks out from
Oh.
behind a table. Hello. How can I help you? Welcome to the
Hi.
mold room.
The mold room?
Yes, the mold room is what we call it. Welcome. Isn't it impressive?
Very.
Yeah.
What kind of mold is this?
Well, currently, it is a special mold that only grows here in Koyamos, and it is a work of art. You see, and then this person walks to one of the one of the areas that you notice is just like a little, like 2 hours away from Tanara Small, because you know the map, and it's like, this is where we are right now, and points right on the one of the mold trail. This is where we are right now.
So is the mold like? Does it serve? What purpose does this mold serve?
Well, you see, when we were just starting, it was just this mold room, and we were just trying to come up with like multiple ways of trying to come up with a way to like be able to explore everywhere, right? So we were confounded because there's so many cities here in Aldamora. But then there was an accident in this very room, and we accidentally spilled some food on one of the maps, and one of the dots of the food went to one village, and the other dot went to the other village, and we couldn't remember, like we didn't notice it. It was just like we left, and then because we were tired, right? We had a really big dinner, and then we came back, and then the next morning we saw like a line of mold from one village to the next. And that was like the perfect way to connect the rails. So now the mold decides where the rails go. Isn't that impressive?
Oh, the mold decides. It doesn't like it's not like a tracking after the fact. The mold grows and then you go where the mold goes in the map.
Yes.
Oh.
Has that been that's been successful, like financially as well, like that the mold seems to know where to go?
I mean, it's been doing us really well for about 40 years now.
Does the mold?
Sorry, go ahead.
You go. No, go for it.
You go. My bad.
Does the mold stay? Like, do you have like records of like the past 40 years, or even the past month?
I mean,
of like where you've been.
Well, the thing is, when the mold appears, the rails stay, and the mold stay.
So yes.
So
I mean,
it
it's
just
right
keeps
there.
growing.
And then she
Okay.
he walks to like where Kulia Malls was first started with just one
Okay.
and goes, here, this is where we started. And then,
Okay.
yeah, very, very like the history. This is the first, we want to say this, other than the engine room, this is the first room because, you know, we had a goal and we wanted to travel the world. And this
Yeah.
history, this is, you know, this is stuff that you would remember.
Yes, sentient mold is, or I guess all mold is sentient, but map making mold is something I would remember. It's
Particularly.
something I will remember.
Yeah.
Do you want a piece of the mold?
Yes.
I'm okay, but thank you.
Do you want a piece of the mold, Marlo? I mean, I don't know your name.
Yes, my name's Marlo, and Marlo would love a piece of that mold. I think Dr. Kalian would love to examine this.
Perfect. And then he goes into like the gift shop.
Oh, that's really smart.
And then, but nobody else. It's like it's a gift shop, but nobody buys anything here. They just sort of give it away. Basically, like
Got like
you know,
that really dusty snow globe up there.
yeah. They're like, oh. And then he jumps to get one of the little like it's like a pendant, but inside it is like mold. And he goes, here, this is a very important
Thank you.
sample. I think it's this is the mold from like 25 years ago. Yes.
Oh,
25 years.
that's it. Next aged mold.
Yes. That is a mold for like, you know, I wouldn't drop it on any maps because you might suddenly create a rail somewhere.
Good to know.
Just be careful.
Good point. Good point. Thank you for that. Have you had a lot of recent guests?
No.
Okay.
Not in this mold room. I don't know why. This is such
this
an
mold room?
important.
Is there
This
more
mold-
mold rooms?
Huh? No,
Are there-
this is the only one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, there's always guests, but they never really come here. I'm very lonely.
Oh,
that's sad. We'll make you some flyers.
yeah. We'll advertise it better.
I always
Okay.
say that the mold, you know, tells the story of old, but nobody ever pays attention. And it's frustrating because this is where we started. This is what the history is of Kulia Moss. There is a story, I think, that you know, Kachuga, when she was young, she appeared in here and was like, look at this mold room, and then disappeared.
Wait, in this part?
Very mold room.
This room.
Yes, that is the story.
Isn't she the size of a mountain?
Sometimes. Well, all the time. But sometimes she feels like she doesn't want to be a giant thing.
Wait, what?
Did she
when
take
was
any
that?
mold? Oh. We both point each other like, good question.
She didn't. She just showed up.
When?
All right. We're gonna come back to that.
Okay.
We
want to go
into the mold room.
We're in the mold room. We're gonna go back to Indira and Dr. Sintra. Hello. You are in the hospital still. What is up? She is Lola Aring has been going, remember.
We would like to use, if at all possible, what is it called? Treasure Insight.
Okay.
For our diagnosis. Indira has a background in music therapy and has learned that a lot of times a popular song that someone knows can get them in the right headspace to start and complete their thoughts. So she would try to go over to Aurora and maybe sing. not sing.
What? Which one are you doing? I'll do the singing part if you want to do the rap part.
Wait.
Go ahead,
So we're gonna roll a stat, treasure insight, because you're on the verge of a breakthrough, right?
I'm hoping to be, yeah.
Okay. What do you feel is the breakthrough that will happen if you are successful in rolling this?
Is that something that's on the list, or can I just tell you what
You
I'm
can just
hoping?
tell me. I'm
Okay.
just curious.
I'm hoping that she can tell us what it is that we're trying to remember. I'm hoping she can like finish her sentence.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm rolling now.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. And you said you were gonna roll music therapist. Actually, I'm going to have to make you roll a lure instead because you're trying to use your uh charismatic stuff to get her out of her torpor. Torpor is a vampire thing, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking
Torpor?
right now.
Sure.
What's the word?
Torpor?
Torpor.
Are you
What does
thinking the
that
word
mean? I've
stupor?
never
Or
heard that
stu-
word.
stupor?
Stupor. I was
Oh,
thinking
stupor.
torpor, which is a vampire thing, which is not what's happening to her right now. But you know what? It's fine. All right, go ahead and roll a lure, but I'll let you add your D4 to it just because you wanted to use but you can use the counseling, so it's fine.
Okay, sure. So I go up to her and I'm just like, when I was 13, I had my first love. There was nobody that compared to my baby, and nobody come between nobody come above. I'm not a rapper. Ooh, that's pretty good. Okay, that is a 10.
Awesome. Okay.
Yay!
You had me going crazy. Oh, I was starstruck.
All right. All right. You did gain a +1 on your next roll, because that was great. When you were singing to her, when you were rapping to her, she smiles, and she smiles and she stops saying remember, and she opens her eyes, and you can see that there's awareness there, and says, Indira, I know what you have to do.
What's it?
She needs to remember. She needs to remember.
Huga?
She needs to remember when she is. And then she just sort of faints back and starts changing again. Dr. Sintra, what are you doing during this entire time?
I think I've been letting Indira take the lead on this particular thing, as this is music therapy by way of rapping pop music from the mid 2000s is not my forte.
Why ever not?
Yeah, I think Dakota liked it. Dakota knows the song. I don't
Dakota
think
was
I knew
like,
the song.
yeah, that's
Dakota was
great.
doing the backup raps because I know in the song like there's like some echoes. I think Dakota did those. So but I think I was sitting back because I did not see anything medically wrong with her, so it was really difficult for me to sort of figure out what was going on. So I let Indira take the lead on this one.
I would tell you to maybe text the others and let them know what we found out.
The
Yeah,
mayor,
so
the mayor is actually sitting with you, Sintra, Dr. Sintra,
okay.
and is like, do you think they'll be okay?
Who?
Our people here, do you think they'll be okay?
I do hope so. I think if we can figure out what's wrong with the time and the timing, then perhaps we'll be able to fix everyone else.
It's very concerning. I don't
I've never seen anything like this before.
Well, we do think it is the false gold because if you look at their feet and then he does bring you to their feet, you see little specks of gold at the bottom of at the bottom of their feet. Like they've been walking around in like specks of gold.
And so this false gold sickness, does it affect humans too, or is this the first time we're seeing it in humans?
Well, go ahead and roll uh actually go ahead and roll pull a thread.
Pull a thread. Okay.
Yeah, because you're
in
asking
lore.
him. Mhm.
Cool. Oh, it rolled under my computer. Come back. That's a flat 10.
Okay. Pick one. You know where the monster was last seen. You know where to find a survivor of the monster's last attack. You know the site of the monster's most recent rampage, and you know where the monster used to nest before it went berserk. Now we're gonna change that a little bit, just because technically two of those things, like you already know who the survivors are. They're in the same place as you. You know where they do the most recent rampage. So let's say you know who I can tell you who the latest one was, like the what they were doing, and and I can tell you where Kachuka is gonna appear next instead of the most recent rampage.
Okay. I'll pick the second one because I think that'll be the most useful.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it affects humans. I do know that it doesn't spread among us. People who have touched the people who have touched them, I want to say infected, but they're not really infected. It doesn't pass, but it does seem to be just an effect that Kachuka bestows on the people around them, if they're there. And
You
honestly,
say
yeah.
you say bestow like it's a gift.
Well,
Is this a gift or a curse?
I don't know. I think the thing is Kachuka likes to give time. Normally, like when she appears, when she's happy, when she's not sick, she gives you 10 minutes of your memories where you could just sit down and choose a 10-minute, and then you could just think about it and spend in that time. And it's one of the best things because you could choose whatever memory you want and you live in it for a long time, even though it's only 10 minutes. And she
It's
bestows
quite
that gift.
nice.
It is. But ever since she got sick, she hasn't been really giving that gift. If anything, this is what we've been getting. I think they're stuck in a loop in their head for a couple of seconds when Kachuka
So it's
meets them.
affecting their memories.
Their memories, their physical movements. I don't know. And on that note, we're going to go on a break. Hey everyone, we are back to take care of monsters and make sure that they're happy, healthy, and alive. And we're gonna go right back into it. The last time before break, again, thanks for sticking and staying. I appreciate it. Before we went on break, Dr. Sintra had asked the question of where, most likely Kachuka's gonna appear. And Dr. Sintra, you see Calvin, sorry, what's his name? Mayor Jericho. That's his name, not Mayor Calvin. It's Mayor Jericho. Mayor Jericho says, well, I don't know if she'll follow her pattern. But sometimes around this time, she usually visits Mary's. You know, uh, a lot of people like to go to Mary's for dinner, and Mary's is one of the oldest carts here. And they really, the food that Mary makes is excellent. And, Kachuka doesn't eat, of course, doesn't partake with us, but she does enjoy riding along. You can see her, like, sometimes her limbs go through the cart, and like it's a very interesting feeling to have Kachuka go through you. But it's never any harmful. But I don't know. Not maybe we've walked off Mary's because we think she'll appear there. That's why we don't want people there. Mary refuses to leave, obviously, but she's very stubborn. That's where I think she'll be.
Thank you. And I'm gonna pull out my phone to text the other two. I don't think Dr. Sintra's that great of a texter. This is now my second character that is shit at texting, but it's fine. I will send with Dakota's help. I'll make a group text with Marlo and Joe, and I add Indira to it as well, just so she's on the group text for the
But
future.
is it like the wrong Indira? It's a different Indira that you know.
Yeah, I have so many contacts. Yeah. When I add people to my contacts, it's first and last name. Like nothing funny, nothing weird. It's literally just first name, last name.
Hey, that's how I do it. My husband's name is first and last name on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say I found we have found critical information, period, send text. Return to the what was this cart called?
One of the sick bays.
Yeah. Return to sick bay as soon as possible. Period. Send text. Did you find anything? Question mark. Tell us when you get here. Send text. Sincerely, Dr. Calum Sintra. Send
Yes,
text.
they
So excited to
signed
have
their
this
text.
sincerely.
Yes.
You feel your phone.
And I text like this. One finger.
Marlo and Joe, you feel your phone vibrate multiple times, like, and then you open it, and the last thing you see is sincerely, Dr. Caleb Sintra. Basically, that's the last message because it's a lot of message. And you do read the whole text. What do you guys choose to do?
Well, have we done all we
Found
can
some
in the
moss.
off room?
Send. That's all I said. Just found some moss.
I see that, and I turn to Indira, and I'm like, they found moss.
That hyphen, next message, molds or star, asterisk.
Mold.
Typo.
I And I tell Indira, I am intrigued to find out what this possibly could do with what we are trying to investigate here.
Indira, you don't get a text message, by the way, just so you're aware. You don't get any of these text messages.
Wasn't expecting to, I guess, because I'm here, so it doesn't really strike me as odd.
Somebody replies, and it isn't Indira. It goes, "What?"
I look at Indira. What do you mean, what?
What? What do you mean?
I show
what?
you my
What do you
phone.
mean?
I show you your phone.
I don't. That's not me.
I immediately turned to Dakota, who helped me do this.
Oh, no.
What did you do?
Oh no,
I mean,
Dakota's
I
getting
don't-
fired.
I just, you said Indira. You have many Indiras in your phone, Doctor.
Can we please fix this? Please.
I mean, I would have to create a new group, but I don't know what. Just,
How do
she's
you
right
how do you
there.
remove the other Indira from the group? Can you do that? Can you manage that?
What kind of phone do you have?
Depends on the
It's an
phone.
iPhone.
Actually, you know what? You have an Android phone, and in your Android phone, you can't remove people from. You have to start a whole new thing.
Yeah, it's the same on iPhones. I don't think you can remove
Yeah.
somebody from
No.
group text.
You
Yeah,
you
could
can't
just
remove it. You have,
copy-paste.
and then it's like, all right, fine. I'm gonna do something. And then Indira, Dakota looks at you. Indira, I don't know your last name. Can I please have it so I can correctly create this group chat?
Oh, that's why you want my last name. It's Mirage.
I mean, baby. Later, we could.
Dakota.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Hi. Sorry. Maybe later we can talk.
I'm in trouble twice in like 2 minutes.
Sorry. Here. And then it's a new chat room. Dakota pasted all of the chat that you sent to the text message. So you're getting like double messages again from everyone. And now in DR you get the same message. Anyway,
Wait, I'm gonna send one more slew of messages. I take my phone back from Dakota and I say, please ignore the other group chat. Send message. Dakota added the wrong Indira. And I use a frowny emoji. Send message. And I say, delete the other one and use this one. Send message. Sincerely, Dr. Caleb Sintra.
I look at the new text messages and I'm like, man, I didn't expect them to know what emojis were. It's kind of impressive. They're
Yeah.
still signing their texts.
Should we teach them how to use speech to text?
I bet they'd like that. Okay, let's do that. But first, do we need to do anything else in this mold room, or can we go?
In the mold room.
I mean, I don't really want to leave this dude by themselves. I
don't
feel
either.
like they might need someone to talk to or some help.
Yeah.
no, it's okay. I have a friend.
Oh,
And then you do see this little mold doll
Oh God, is it
that
like
they've
Wilson
made. It's like
oh my God.
passed away?
God.
no, it's Wilson. See, Wilson here keeps me company. I understand that molds don't normally communicate, but I feel like you know they're okay sometimes. I feel like it understands me. I don't know the voice I chose for this.
That was it. That was it.
But it is it. This is the
Yeah.
voice.
I'm gonna lean over to Joe. We're making them some flyers. We gotta get them a
we
friend
are.
or something. They need
yeah, I
assistance.
turned-
They're too alone in
Oh,
here.
if you want to spread the word.
you have
See,
flyers.
mold. No, I don't. You're gonna make me
Oh.
one, remember?
Yes,
But
yes,
I
Yeah,
was
we are.
so I
saying,
thought you were saying, okay.
I was just saying, if you want to spread the word, mold, you should probably go to Mary's Diner. A lot of people. Wait a second. Mary's Diner is closed. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
You can go anywhere, I guess. Whatever.
Okay. Well, we really, really appreciate your help, and we will come. We will be back. We
Yes.
promise. We just have to do this thing.
It was nice meeting you. My name is Joseph. I should have introduced myself a lot earlier, but hello, Joseph. And then he's just like raising his hand like this.
Joseph, my name is Joe. It's a pleasure to meet you. I should have introduced myself too. Great name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like your name.
Aww.
Pretty cool.
Thanks.
We'll make sure to come back soon.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, bye. Are you sure you only want one mold? I have like super many.
I'll take one. Yeah, I run back, grab one.
Then, okay, bye.
Here we go. And then we go.
You both are headed. Where are you headed? To the sick bay.
Yeah, right, Marla.
Okay.
Oh, I think should we go check out Mary's first? I mean, it'd be like
they said it was closed.
I know, but we can. Then no one will stop us from going in.
Okay, so why don't we text the chat and tell them
we should tell them
visit Mary's. Okay, yeah. So we start heading to Mary's and text as we walk. We're going to check out a place called Mary's that we heard about first. Seems like a good place for advertisement.
When I see that, I send back as quickly as I can. Don't go there! Exclamation point.
Why? Question mark.
Yeah.
Are you guys walking as this is happening, by the way?
Yeah, we're walking and texting.
Go ahead and roll follow the trail, please. One of you, both of you, it doesn't matter.
Oh, no.
When you say why, when you say why, I text back, just come back to sick bay, period, send text.
I'm gonna start a new text thread.
Five,
okay.
No.
Another one. Oh, this rules.
I don't know if it's the train hearing people talk about Mary's car as you guys are moving, but you are immediately transported. The minute you step out of the mold room, you two, Joe and Marlo, are immediately transported into the Mary's Diner cart.
Oh.
It's very empty, except for a very young-looking, she looks like about 20, maybe. Around 20, but she doesn't feel like she's 20. She feels like she's been here forever, but she looks 20 right now. And she's sitting there and she's making what looks like French toast.
Oh, I love French toast.
Hello.
I'm so sorry. Is this Mary's Diner? We kind of got lost somehow.
Yes, actually.
A door.
I'm Mary. Hi. Would you like some French toast? Nobody's been visiting for a while. I think it's because they're terrified, but there's always food whenever you're here. I always have ready.
You might be closed.
That mayor keeps telling everybody I'm closed. I never, ever close. Not Mary's. Not when we opened. Not when we are open 24/7. We are a normal breakfast place.
What would people be? You said people were scared?
All right. It's been the past few weeks. I don't know if you know this, but Kachuka has been causing some ruckus among some people. But, Kachuka is Kachuka. She doesn't mean it. She's just not feeling well.
But why would people be scared of that here?
She likes this place a lot, and she visits this place a lot.
Oh, she's a regular.
Yeah. She likes to come here and talk to me. I'm one of her I'm sure you know this. I'm one of her chosen, touched,
Wait, have you spoken to her recently? I'm sorry, April, were you gonna say something?
While Joe is talking to that, I'm just gonna be like texting the doctor. We were on our way back, but we ended up at Mary's.
When I see that, I'm going to show it to Indira and just say, "Oh, I'll show it to Indira and the mayor." I'm basically passing my phone around. And I'm like, "Oh, why didn't they listen?"
The mayor is obviously not like the mayor is not shocked that Mary's is still open. And just shakes his head, says, Mary, you're gonna get those two in trouble. Says that, and you need to get your friends out of there. You only have 20 minutes at most before Kachuka shows up. I think that's where she's gonna be next. You only have 20 minutes.
Where is this car in relation to the one we're in right now?
Well, it's kind of hard to do that. I would say if you really want to get to Mary's, just walk in any direction and have your heart think about Mary's.
I look at Dakota and just like give him a look of what?
And then Dakota goes, think of Mary's. That's what he said. You would just think of Mary's as you step.
I heard him.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you didn't hear him. I just wanted to make sure you understood. But
I'm gonna stand up and straighten my lab coat and think about Mary's. And I'm looking at Indira too, and I'm like, you want to come think really hard with me?
Yeah, and maybe after this, I don't have a physical office to practice in anymore, but I do make house calls. Let's go.
For what?
And then Dakota is going, do you think we should be holding hands or something?
Yeah.
And then holds Indira's hands happily. Doc, let's maybe hold your hand as well. It just so that we don't get lost.
Dr. Sintra lets out an audible sigh and takes Dakota's hand in theirs.
Awesome.
Intimacy issues.
And then you do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You three go. You three. Both of you go roll. Follow the trail, and we'll see.
I have a +1 to this, which makes it an 8.
8.
Holy shit. Oh, well, I rolled another 13.
Awesome. You are able to reach Mary's without a problem. And you see Marlo and Joe sitting down and hanging out.
So is it like when was the last time you talked to her? If you talked to her recently? Oh my god.
Why didn't you listen when I texted you?
We were on our way back.
Yeah. We walked out of a door and into the diner. We were going the way that we came.
Would you like some
Apparently,
French toast?
if you think hard enough about this place, you end up here. So that's why you came here.
And they have French toast.
They have French
Would you like
toast
some French
here.
toast?
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want French toast, thank you.
Oh, well,
No.
okay.
But no, wait, hold on though. So how you said you speak to her sometimes? How recently have you spoken to her?
Last night.
Last night?
Yeah.
Kachuka will be here in about 18 minutes, and if we don't want to be caught up in this time loop, we need to not be here when she comes.
Well, wait, just 1 second, okay, doctor? What did she say? Did she sound okay? Did she sound sick? Did she say what was happening to her?
Well, to be honest, I think Kachuka is confused. Kachuka thinks that she doesn't remember a lot of things. She's forgetting things, and As one of her oldest friends, I'm trying to remind her of the things that she's forgotten. And usually our conversations calm her. But sometimes when I'm not around and there are other people here, there's no one to remind her. And it causes people to
Okay. What do we do with this information, guys?
You have a lot of information, actually.
Yeah.
You could right now, you could roll. So, there is a clock thingy that I am, marking here. And if you see prognosis, you see here's what I got. There's also make a deal. You can mark a clock segment successful. And if you do that, actually, you know what? I'm gonna mark a couple because you were able to help somebody that I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
The mold guy? Did we help the mold guy?
Yeah, you did get the mold guy.
Definitely. If we didn't, we're definitely gonna help the mole guy at some point.
Yes, we are going back there.
I think like as
mold
like
guy.
once like I compose myself, I look at the two of you and I'm like, what's this about mold?
Oh, I'm gonna reach into my pockets. I
We
brought you
pull out our souvenirs.
The two of you are just like, look,
it's mold.
Isn't it tight? We're gonna help him advertise.
Mine's like 25 years old.
What? What?
Oh, but we can't let it touch a map or else it'll make a new train line? Oh, the mold dictates where the train's going to go.
Yeah, so the mold just kind of grows and then the train, like on a map, and then the train like follows where the mold goes. So it's kind of like an unpredictable, like exploratory path. Very interesting. Something that I would now like to make an activity if I ever go back to being a school teacher.
Glyza,
Sorry, what?
have I
Yes.
heard about anything like this while studying at school?
This is go ahead and roll, actually. Go roll. Here's what I've got. Go roll here's what I've got. Because I'm kind of curious.
All right.
That's
9.
Cute. All right. I'm going to tell you information, but go ahead and just choose one of the following. Mark
I'll do the clock segment one.
Okay. All right. So the information I'm going to give you is this is a very special mold, and you are aware that it only grows in this train. If you bring it out of this train, if you bring it out of the container, the little thingy that, it will not lead anywhere. It will not create any maps. It's a very special, only like if you put it in a map while you're in what is the name of the city that I named? I didn't name it. It's Kalia Malls or whatever. If you are in a
malls,
if you are in this train and you put this, and you've known this while you're studying, there will be a thing that will grow, but only if you're in the train. So the train contains the magic. It isn't the mold itself. This is something that you do know.
Okay, I would relay that information to everyone.
All right.
And I sound really smart when I do it.
So you have all marked a clock segment successful because I've been counting. We're going to go to prognosis and we're going to move to synthesis. Go ahead and anybody roll. Let's see. Roll 2d6s plus 3.
Everyone?
No,
Everyone?
just one. Whoever feels
One person?
lucky.
Who wants to
Jay.
go?
Jay's been rolling
Jay's been
13s.
rolling. So yeah, go.
I feel so much pressure now, and now that
Yeah.
you've
Pressure.
elected me,
We're
I'm
putting
gonna roll
pressure on
two
you,
ones.
yes.
I just feel it.
Roll
right.
good.
Roll 2 6s again.
That's an 11 plus.
Plus 3.
See?
No, it's 11 with the +3.
Oh, okay, that's
still
fine.
awesome.
Okay.
That's
still
awesome.
good.
Okay, so you get what I will call a critical ace. So, in one of your rolls that you can use whenever, you can add a D8 instead of a D4, and this is accessible by everyone. So it's not just you, Jay. It's everyone that decides to, so you get one critical ace. Write it down. Awesome, and you can ask me one question about the cure. And this will be a question to Mary, because Mary knows what probably the cure is.
Am I allowed to ask what is the cure, or does it have to be a specific question?
Question about the cure.
So I can't ask what is it?
Yeah.
What are the ingredients?
Okay. Yeah. So the cure, like, we're trying to help Kachuka. We're trying to help Kachuka remember. Is that what we're trying to do at this point?
I believe that's what can cure it. I believe that's what can cure her.
So how do we go about doing that?
I think the best thing you can do is to remind her. Get elements of the oldest things and remind her.
Like this 25-year-old moss?
But Pachuca likes the moss. Pachuca's been in the moss room. They visited.
Chuka has visited the moss room previously, we were told by the amazing tour guide.
We are moving to the synthesis stage, by the way. If you guys are looking there, you guys are in the synthesis stage. But yeah, Mary looks at you and says, the best thing you could do is remind them.
Where did Aurora go?
Aurora is still in the sick bay.
Okay, because Aurora's also really old. And this is out of character. Aurora's also really old.
Yeah.
So I want to bring Aurora, and then also one of the things I studied in school was the biological history of monsters. So is there
Okay.
anything else I can think of that's old
Um,
would be helpful?
it wouldn't apply, but I do want you to roll acuity. So just the normal +1 this time.
Okay. Seven.
You understand that Mary is telling you that there are aspects of this train, maybe the oldest aspects of this train, that Kachuka loves and is what's needed to
Like
remind
Mary's
them.
Diner, right? Is that you said that was the oldest train car?
The oldest is the mold room.
The mold room is one of the oldest train cars on the train. We learned that from our amazing tour guide in the mold room. Everyone should check out the mold room.
The mold room is also a place that Kachuka has visited previously. And I asked our tour guide, who's wonderful, how long ago that was. And I don't remember if I got an answer, but I have a vibe that it was a long time ago.
It is the first room that Kachuka has ever visited.
The mold room is important to the plot. This rules.
I feel like you yell that in character. Joe is like, the mold room is important to the plot. The plot of what?
No, I'm just getting excited. Ignore me.
What?
Okay, so how do we get... Okay, either we bring the mold room to Mary's Diner, or we find a way to get Kachuka to go to the mold room?
If you could think really hard to get to the diner, if we thought harder, could we get the mold room in the diner?
You should ask, let's see.
Oh,
Go
wait,
ahead
or we
and-
could just break the ambulance in the diner and turn the diner into a new mold room.
Oh my god.
And we'll be
please
combining
don't
the
break. Mary's like, please don't break that in here.
The health code violation.
It would be really bad for a place that has food to be surrounded by mold. I'm so sorry.
That's a really good point. I was just thought maybe combining the forces of the rooms would empower it even more.
I'm also
Somebody
allergic to certain kinds of mold, so I'd rather not.
is any somebody roll for seeking wisdom because you're asking Mary questions that can help.
Who's got good allure? Joe has the best allure out of all of us.
I do want to tell you that now is a good time to use your D-force.
I will do this. Okay, so I'm rolling allure.
Okay.
Or what's the
Allure.
Yeah, roll allure. You get a +1, and then roll your D4 to add to that.
Okay.
But why are
Or-
you gonna use it though? Like, how are you gonna use your
Okay, wait.
teaching?
So which move am I taking?
Seeking wisdom.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes. Materials. Okay. How can I swing this?
Easy teacher
Allure.
voice.
Honestly,
teacher voice.
I was kind of thinking that, yeah, just sort of like you know when a teacher poses a question and it feels more urgent than if someone was asking you a question. You know what I mean? Like if someone was like, "Oh, do you know what this is?" versus if a teacher was like, "Do you know what?" So I think I'm gonna try and
Okay,
use, like,
class. Raise your
Yes.
hand if you know what this is.
yeah.
I
Please
need
do the
listening
voice,
ears
Joe.
and quiet feet. Listening ears and quiet
Okay.
feet, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So remind me just so I can get this right. What am I trying to ask? What am I seeking here?
Well, you're gonna roll seeking wisdom. You're trying to ask the local source about like what you can do, what ingredients maybe is needed to resolve, because that's what you're thinking, like how are you gonna try to do this? So go ahead and depending on your role, my answers will
Okay. I have a secondary question. Is there a chance that we could use the ace that Jay got for this if we need to?
You can, but I would advise to use it later when you're
Okay.
actually applying the cure.
Okay. 9. Wait. 10.
Okay, cool. Mary looks at you and says, "All right. I think from everything that I've been talking with Kachuka, she needs to remember when she is. She needs to remember her past. And I feel like going to all of the rooms, well, not all of the rooms, the oldest rooms that she loves. The mold room being one of them. Mary Steiner, she loves this place, is another one. And there is one other one that she loves. I think getting elements of that and showing it to her would help her remember."
So we don't need to take her to
those
the room,
places here.
just
Oh,
things
sorry.
in the room.
Marlo, can you say that one more time?
So we don't need the room, just things from the room?
Is that correct?
Yes. That's
Okay.
what I think that's all that's needed. Because sometimes just talking about the room makes them calm down.
Okay.
I know the
Marlo's gonna
false gold.
Hold up the necklace again.
I know the false gold is very different, but sometimes the cure is very simple. Just trying to remember, just trying to calm them down, you know? All right. That's what Mary tells you. Also, keep an eye on some of the moves here because you can get a critical ace if you do
Okay.
it correctly. You can get you just need to mark your clock segment for this part at least 3 times. And you can move on to the next part. But I'll tell you when that is. All right.
Okay, we got to start grabbing stuff.
Okay. We have something for the mold room. Oh, Barry, are there menus or like a specialty mug or commemorative flatware?
I I don't I guess, but and then she does go back to the room and go ahead and roll shopping list for me.
Oh man. My acuity thing doesn't help with this. Oh wait, can it? I have monster behaviors, my acuity. I know things that monsters like
Okay.
shiny things and red things and twine. Okay, so I could add a D4 to that.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Awesome. Mary goes into the room and comes out with a plushie. And it looks exactly like Kachuka, but smaller and very, very cute. It's a little purple plushie. This is one of my favorite things that I've ever owned. I got this when I was a child. Exactly. That's what it looks like. Dr. Caleb Sintra is holding a Kachuka plushie. That is what it is. Hello.
Hand it to Dr. Kale.
This is one of the oldest, and it looks brand new, by the way. And she says this. She says this is one of the oldest things I've ever owned, and Kachuka gave it to me when I was just a child.
Kachuka.
I think she'll remember this.
Excellent. We're on our way.
Please be careful with it. And she hands it to you, Marlo.
I hand it to the doctor.
The doctor now holds it. Awesome. Oh, that's what Kachuka is going to look like.
I just love that Kachuka carries her own plush merchandise.
Yeah.
Kachuka's
You've
like,
been blessed by Pachuca. Have a stuffed animal.
Here's a
That
stuffed
is
animal.
so incredibly valid of Kachuka.
It's not. It's. You may never find out, but in one of in the rooms where Rora stays in, there's a Kachuka plushie. But yes,
we have to get touched by Kachuka so we get our own plushies. Okay.
That's how she bestows it. Anyway, we so you have that. Mary says there is, I don't know if this is enough to remind her. There is one more place that she loves. It's called the Phantom, right? The Phantom Cart. It's between well, we give random numbers to the carts because they never are the same, but it's between cart 108 and cart 15. Exact 108 comes first and then 15, just so you know. It's between those two, and you need to get some. She loves that one. I think she spends the most time there. It's the Phantom Cart. I don't. That's all I can give you.
So maybe we should set up in the Phantom Cart? Dr. Deer, what do you think? You're the psychologist of the group.
I'm not a psychologist.
I thought Deer was a doctor as well. I'm sorry. That was my mistake.
Oh, I thought
I
you called me Dr. Deer. Like you're calling me Deer.
Dr. Darling, how are you doing this?
I know.
How are you, psychiatrist, Dr. Darling? May you please?
Like I cut people's hearts open.
How do you feel about that?
You should really let me swing by sometimes so we can talk. I don't know. I'm really new to the animal psychology thing, but I think I'm on the same train of thought as you all.
Train of thought.
Yeah,
That was Dakota. Dakota said that.
I
Dakota
know.
was like, train of thought.
And I just shoot them a look and I'm like, oh geez, not another pun.
And then what are you planning to do, by the way? Oh, by the way, Kachuka is gonna appear in the Mary's Diner in about 5 minutes.
Oh, we should probably get running. To run to the phantom cart and set up. And do you think if we think hard enough, Pachuca will show up?
I don't know. I cannot tell.
Well, only one way to find out.
Are you guys gonna go to step out of Mary's Diner?
I think so.
Okay. Go ahead and just roll. Da.
Can I do a okay, here's the plan move
You can.
as we're
What's the
sort
plan?
of figuring all this out? So
Okay.
explain again this phantom car.
So the
Is it
phantom
literally
car,
a ghost car or like
that's why they call it a phantom car. Basically, nobody's been there, but they see it. And it's this very, very beautiful, super fancy, like even fancier than so you know how some train cars they look like worn down or whatever. The mold room looks really worn down. The Phantom cart looks like it was the same 40 years ago as it was today, fully painted. It looks like it has gilded, it's gilded with gold, like gold, and it's like it is Kachuka's favorite cart, basically. First is this cart, and then Mary's, and then the first cart she has ever appeared in was the mold. It's Kachuka's favorite cart. Everybody knows this. But as much as people try to get into that cart, nobody's ever really gotten into it. That's why they call it the Phantom cart.
okay.
And remember, it is between room 108 and 15.
We can make it. We hustle.
What
How are we
room
gonna
are
find
we
this
in
place?
now?
You're in Mary's Diner.
But Mary's Diner just appears when you think about it. So if we think about room, the first room, will it show up?
You could either take on the world and see if that will happen.
Because I think, like, going back to the plan thing super quickly, I
Yeah.
think our plan was just to do what we've been talking about, like bringing like the old things to help.
You can
Kachuka
actually do
remember.
that and roll fine for me, please.
Okay. Seven.
Pick one of the questions. What are the foreseeable risks with
What
this
do we
plan?
need to make this plan work?
Maybe you don't need to be in the room. Maybe in the cart. Maybe you just need a picture to remind Kachuka.
Okay, so I would tell that to the group. And specifically I will tell Dakota to go with them and take a picture.
Oh, you want me to go? Who's going? Am I going alone?
Yes.
I could try
No,
to
with them.
run. I could try to run and take a picture and be as fast as possible, and get there and back.
Dakota ran track in undergrad. He'll go with you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sure, we can do that.
We'll take on the world.
Yeah, let's do take on the world, please.
And you said this is force?
Yes.
I would like to argue I have wrangling as my force, and I originally said it was to wrangle animal, but this is I want to wrangle up a picture.
Um,
Gonna wrangle Dakota and go and get the picture. Like, come on, Dakota, hurry up!
And
are you gonna
and
carry
I don't know how
Dakota?
I don't know how
I
this
have
would
to.
work. I don't know how this
Piggyback.
would work, but my teacher and student move is what gives me Dakota, like mechanically in the 1st place.
Let
And
me actually see that teacher move.
they can perform simple tasks for you, and or be the first person to test an ingredient if it causes side effects.
Here, eat this.
Poor baby. Maybe that's why Dakota is like, man, just make me do everything. Anyway, you
Dakota's
can
my
put
med student. He
That's
is a
true.
med student.
Dakota
I
has
don't
probably eaten
mistreat
a
him.
lot of things for Doctor
For science.
for Dr. Sintra.
For the pursuit of science.
For the pursuit of science. Go ahead and roll Take on the World. I will give you wrangling because it takes a lot of like special movements to create to take a picture, just the right way. So go ahead and do that.
Just Vogue.
What are what are you thinking about as you're leaving the room, by the way, Marlo?
I am thinking of ghost train. As much as possible, and I rolled a 10 total.
All right, awesome. So you and Dakota are like thinking about the ghost train, right?
Mhm.
You step out into air, but because you rolled really well, Dakota is able to grab you
Oh, good.
and pull you in. And you see like you could have really almost whatever, but when you step into the car 108, you see this this cart by the window. You see that it exists, but when you look out the door, it doesn't exist. So you can see it through the window, but not through the door that you stepped out of. Since you rolled really well, pick 2 of one of those things. And I can tell you what they are. Segment successful. So you'd have just 2 more left. A session ace gives you an extra D4 for whatever roll you make. 1 supply, just another supply, which you guys haven't used anyway, so I don't know if you would need it. Learn the name effects and effects of the 1 wound is you don't need it because you already know the wound. So
then I'll just take a successful clock.
Okay.
Because I guess that just means we successfully get the picture.
Yeah, and you also get a session ace.
Perfect.
So you get a
yeah,
D4.
I'll take that.
Awesome.
And what you did, Dr. Sentra, and actually the whole group, is I take the picture and put it in the group chat so you get it, so I don't have to run the picture to you because we have cell phones and technology.
Yes, you do get that picture, and it is pretty clear. It is you can continue without meeting all of the clock segments. You just don't get some extra stuff. Do you want to continue, or do you want to try to see if you're able to mark your clock some more? I don't think there's I
think we have all the stuff, and I don't really see a movement that marks clocks unless anyone
yeah, only take on the
Cynthia's
world
movement.
Yeah,
I mean, I could try running back as fast as possible.
yeah, you can do that and see if you can roll another force.
She's a runner. She's a track star.
If you want more clocks.
Either way, like just try.
I'm running back.
Try to see if you can come back. Yeah. But this time 7. You can pick 1. So just another.
Oh, actually, be technically 8 because I get a +1. So I'll make another clock segment.
Yay! All right, so we're gonna move on because we know what's happening. Go ahead and just roll. 2 d6s and a +2, and you can choose whoever wants to roll this.
Who wants to roll?
Can I roll it?
Go for it.
Can I?
Do it.
I want to roll good once, please.
I believe in you.
Do it.
I did. What am I adding to
Yes.
it?
2.
Just +2.
I got a 12.
Awesome. So you gain 1 critical ace. So you now have 2 critical aces. And you can choose one of these questions. Tell the guide where you confront the monster. Tell the guide about a trap you've set for the monster. Tell the guide about an ally you have with you when you confront the monster. Tell the guide about one major modification to your usual equipment you've made.
Okay, do we want to do I'm thinking we could either do location or extra person, because I remember Dr. Sintra said that they wanted Lola to be there to like help.
What move did you just roll? So I can look at the text.
Pharmacy.
Which one?
Pharmacy.
Under what?
Sorry, synthesis.
Oh, I see.
I liked the idea of having Lola there a lot.
Yeah, let's do that one. I like that too.
So if that's okay with everybody, then I think we'd go with that one about having one extra person present. I can't remember the wording, but yeah.
One extra ally. All right.
Yes.
I'm going to play this out as you're all getting ready to like hunker down and try to remind, like coming up with a plan to remind Kachuka of what's happening. You're waiting and waiting, and suddenly the door hits open, and you see Bro standing there as a teenager. He's like, "Am I too late? Is she gone?"
No, she hasn't come yet. You're just in
You're
time.
right on time. You're right on time.
Mary. And then Rose greets Mary. It's like they've been away from each other for so long. It's been so long since I seen you, Mary. How have you been? And then Mary is like, "Oh, I've been fine. You know, just being here. My bones are tired." And this is a 20-year-old Mary talking to a teenager Ro, and Ro's like, "Yeah, I know what you mean. Like my back hurts all the time. Every time I wake up, it's tiring. It's just the worst. And the worst thing is if you stay up all night and then you can't, like, I remember when I was really young and I could watch all the Korean dramas I wanted to watch and then wake up the next morning and take on the day. Now I can't anymore.
It's real.
It's
too real.
It's just, it hurts now. Like I can't. I used to be able to stay up till 3 a.m. and now it's 10 p.m. and I'm getting tired. And then they just like babble on about this. It's just what they're doing right now.
I look at Dr. Sintra and I say, "How much longer do we have? What's the time?"
About a minute.
Okay.
And I respond,
all right,
1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay. As this is happening, please move to the symbiosis. You are now in the symbiosis stage. So you only have 3 moves in this stage unless you have a special move on your thing, which I think some of you do. I think a lot of you do, actually. You have Crikey, Soft Narrative, which is at the end. And what do you have in your mouth? All right. So, as you see this, you see first a small pulse of light on the other end of the room. And it looks like it's a purple bluish light that becomes more and more brighter, becomes brighter and brighter and brighter. And then it becomes bigger and bigger. And then out of it, one tentacle comes out. And then another one. And then another one. But the fourth one that comes out is completely covered in gold liquid. And then another one comes out until all 8 legs are out, except for the one tentacle that is gold. I mean, they're all out, but like only one tentacle is covered in gold liquid. And you can see it dripping, but it doesn't seem to be dripping and touching the other parts of Kachuka. But it is dripping and, all over Mary's diner. And Mary looks at Kachuka and says, Chewy, not on my diner. And Kachuka goes, I apologize. I'm just tired. And you can all hear this, by the way. Yes.
When she says that, I think Dr. Sintra's gonna step forward and because I have training in field medicine as well as like trauma, like field trauma.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna step forward and say, Kachuka, my name is
Yes.
Dr. Sintra. I'm here with a group of people and we want to help you. Can I
I-
take a look at that?
I don't know you, which is strange. I usually know everyone.
I am meeting you for the first time. I would like to
All right. So now we are entering, like I said, we're entering the symbiosis mode. Go ahead and get your D4s, D6, D8, D10, and D12. You are at you're all at the D4s, which means you can only roll a D4 for any of the moves that you're going to do here. If you successfully do if you successfully do anything, you get to move up and Kachuka gets to move down. And it'll all
Okay.
make sense when we're playing it, but you basically move up to the D6, D8, D10, D12. Go ahead and roll fine for me, but only with your D4. One D4. As you're trying to talk to them, basically. And remember, you can add your aces. You have two critical aces. You have character aces that you still may not have used. And your equipment.
I did roll a 4 and I have +1 fine, so that's 5.
Mm-hmm.
If I roll an ace, that's another D4 I can add to it, right? Because I'm still trying to get.
What kind of ace? Is it a critical ace or a session ace? Because I know I gave you guys one session ace and two critical aces. A session ace is a D4 and a critical ace is a D.
Yeah, I think we have 2 of the D8 ones, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Two of the D8s and one of the session ace, which is, and you still have a lot of your character aces, by the way.
Yeah, I was talking about my character ace because I haven't used any of mine. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've used any of mine. So I'll use a character ace to roll an additional D4.
The cardiovascular one?
No, the field trauma medicine.
Oh, okay, wait. Let me see. What did we do? The fine. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and do that.
That fell off the table. Try it again. Okay, that's a 3. So 5 + 3 is 8.
All right. So on an 8, you could do one of the followings, right? You can set someone up perfectly, give one of your teammates a +1 as they exploit the situation where you're talking to them. You can catch a glimpse of a hidden truth and gain another session ace, basically a D4 that you can add, or you get a moment to diagnose the monster's wounds. Ask the guide one thing the monster can do and one thing it can't do to its wounds.
I think. Do we want the last one? What do y'all think?
Especially based
You're
off
muted,
of what
I
you
think.
are doing in terms of roleplay.
Can you repeat that? Because I think I only caught the second half of what you said.
I'm also personally leaning towards the last one as well. I think it makes sense.
Okay, let's do the last one.
Okay. So as you're like Kachuga doesn't come close, but you can see that wherever the gold is dripping, it feels like whatever it touches, like if it's in the dust or whatever, it feels like something becomes in a loop. Whatever it touches. Like for example, it fell on a bug maybe, and you notice that that bug is stuck in this loop now. And you realize it's that liquid. The liquid is making the loop. And it's coming from Kachuga. All right. What else are you going to do? You weren't successful in bringing anybody down. So you're still on the D-Force.
And can
I wasn't
anybody do anything right
successful
now?
To do what?
Yes. So on a success, you can increase to your D6. So a success is a 10 plus. Right now, it was
Okay.
successful in learning the thing that you needed to learn about what it can do, but you still need to get a 10 plus. And that's why your character aces and your critical aces and your session aces are really important at the beginning of the synthesis part.
Okay. Can I try to like kind of like get all of the stuff that we've gathered
Okay.
and sort of like present it forward to Kachuka?
So you're already gonna do the cure?
Oh, right, that's the cure itself. I'm so sorry. I jumped the gun. The cure, we likely want to wait until we have higher dice, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Kachuka is getting bigger. Therefore,
Oh.
the liquid is increasing.
Okay. Can I try to calm Kachuka down?
Okay.
Like walk forward with like my hands sort of like splayed out and say like, it's frustrating to not remember something.
Okay.
It's even more frustrating for you. We want to help. Let's take a deep breath, okay?
You're getting in the middle of Kachuka and the doctor, Dr. Syndrome.
Oh, I thought they were done.
No, I mean they're like you decide to
Oh.
like get in the middle. So I'm gonna let you roll get in the way.
Okay.
Which again you roll your grit, and if you can explain to me why you can add what is your grit?
Elementary school teacher.
Yeah, why you can add that to understanding, why you can use that, then I will let you add your D4. And you have 2 session aces, 2 critical aces.
Okay. So I'm going to argue that something that's quite common when you're working with young kids, particularly like second grade, first grade, is when they can't, like, this is just an example, but if they can't like remember something that they want to like talk about, or if they're like working on homework and they're like, no, I know what this is, and they start to get like upset. That would be something that I think Joe would have dealt with a lot, where it's just sort of like, I know it's frustrating, but we still need to calm down. And if you calm down, then it will be less frustrating and you'll be able to remember.
Go ahead and roll and see how you'll do.
Can I add a session ace or one of those after the fact?
I'll
Or
let
do
it
I need to
happen. It's
call it
fine.
before. Okay.
It's fine. I'll let it happen.
Okay. And then can I add a session ace is the 4, correct?
Yeah, session ace is the 4, critical ace is the 8.
Okay, and the session ace is per each like ability.
Session ace, you can use it whenever.
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
session
yes.
ace and critical ace is different in the sense that one is a D4 and one is a D8 that you add. You already add your character ace, which is a D4. You can add another D4 or a D8, depending on what you choose.
So I have a 7 right now.
Okay.
I could use a D4, and if I get a 3 or a 4, then we succeed to get to the D6. And we only have 2 8s, right? So we think we want to save that. Okay, then I'm gonna roll another
Use the
d4.
D4. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Come on, baby. It's a 9 total.
Okay. Pick one. You lose an ace. You lose a supply, which is I don't think that's a bad thing. Move back on the control track, or something precious, valuable, or important to the people of
Lose
the
a
town is
supply.
destroyed.
We have
Yeah, lose a
7 of
supply. We
those, and we
haven't used
haven't
those.
used them.
All right, so that supply is done. You are on 6 supplies. You guys have to be careful.
Oh no.
You
Our
are like
supplies.
running out of supplies. You are able to put, because you decided to lose a supply, you are able to advance to the D6. Yeah, that's fine. You're able to advance to the D6. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Because you decided to lose a supply. Because normally with this, you can't, you eventually do push the monster back. But sometimes you lose something if you roll less than a 10. All right, so Kachuka lashes out with one of her tentacles that isn't covered in gold. And it doesn't it goes through you, Joe, but it doesn't hurt you. It just sort of like pushes you, and then you feel like your backpack sort of like rip open a little bit, and one of your power bars fall out, and you lose a power bar.
I'm like trying to try and get it. The backpack's
Yeah.
with me. I'm like,
And then Kachuka pulls back. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. It's just I'm very
Okay.
tired. I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. It's okay.
Mary? Where is Mary? And Mary comes forward, and Mary's like, Chewy, I'm here. Chewy. And Kachuka says, I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting a lot of things. What do you all do next?
Can I ask Aurora to maybe try to tell stories or something?
All right. I'm going to, even though it's technically not the same thing, I'm going to make you roll set them up, because you're using words to misdirect the monster.
So I roll 1d6 now?
Yes, you roll 1d6 now.
Okay.
And remember, you have a session ace, critical ace. Well, yeah, you have 2 critical aces.
Okay. Can I argue another one of my character D4s? My interdisciplinary communications training.
To tell Aurora?
Yeah, to talk to Aurora, because like I don't think talking to people is my strong suit. So I'm trying to communicate with her and tell her what she needs to tell Kachuka with like
With scientific words is basically what you're saying.
yes.
Scientifically, Aurora, this is what you need to do to scientifically get Kachuka to remember. Basically,
yeah, like when I thought about like interdisciplinary communications, it was me learning how to communicate effectively with all different kinds of people.
right.
Not just people who share my sort of like type A personality.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
You can add it. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. This D4 is kind of hard to read. Okay. So I'm at an 8 again. So if I use one of our extra D4s, it's a high likelihood I could push us to a success, and then we get a D8. Okay, so I'm going to use another D4.
Okay.
And that was a 4. So 8, 9,
Nice.
10, 11, 12. 12.
You are moving up the D8 and you have control over Kachuka. Basically, when you have control over Kachuka, you can put the cure in even though you're not at 12 because you and Kachuka are on the same track right now. Kachuka is basically under your like paying attention to you kind of thing. You can decide to do the cure now or you can gain more. It's up to you. But you can only apply the cure when Kachuka is under your control. And currently, Kachuka is under your control.
I have a question. Can you
Yes.
lose control of Kachuka?
Yes. If
Okay.
for example, you use the cure, if you roll badly with the cure, it might fail or it might mutate to a different wound and all of your research restarts over. You have to do something different. That kind of thing.
Okay.
So above the table. So now that we're rolling with a D8, and then we have the 2 critical ones, we could roll 3D8 to do this cure.
I think we're good. I think we're
Should
good.
we
I
do
think,
that?
yeah.
Mhm.
All right,
I
let's
think so.
try.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
Let's fucking do this.
Who wants to roll?
Oh,
So roll your D8. You roll D8s and then your 2 critical aces.
okay.
Which is more
Um,
D8s, right? Because
Yes.
it's 3D8.
There are 2. I think you've already used up all your session aces. So you only have 2 critical aces and the normal D8s. Yes. I would be so upset if you guys rolled a 1 on all of your D8s, by the way.
Bro,
I'd be
don't.
very sad.
So
We have a D8 and 2 D4s.
No. You have a D8 and 2 D8s.
Oh, okay.
So 3D8 total.
3D8
Yeah.
total, yes.
Can
one of you each can roll. You don't all have to roll
Not
from one.
I can volunteer to
Joe
roll
and Dira
at
and
least
the
one.
doctor.
I can
Okay.
roll them.
Okay, so the
Okay.
3 of
Okay.
us will all roll in. But before I roll mine,
Okay.
can I also make an argument to use up another one of my character aces, specifically the biological history of monsters one, for helping with this cure?
I mean, yeah, you'd probably realize that it seems like the one that needs the most cure is the one tentacle that's covered in gold liquid. So I'll give you
Okay.
that. Does anybody else want to add any of their character aces maybe?
Y'all should do it because we
Could
get
I-
5 of them.
Could I try and argue that my teaching experience lends itself to this because I'm again trying to just sort of like it's like presenting something to
Mhm.
someone who might not be the most receptive to it, but like still managing to communicate that information.
Yeah, I guess you could do that. That's fine.
Okay.
Can I help by distracting it by using my move Crikey and trying to pick it up and be friends?
I mean, you can.
Will it help
Crikey-
or hurt them?
Let me see.
I'm trying to distract
Is
them and help them.
Crikey a general move?
It's
It
not
is.
a
It is.
special
It's a
move.
symbiosis move. Yeah, you
It's a
can
symbiosis.
try, and if you do it, see.
I mean, there's no way for me to get above a 7.
I mean, you're gonna roll with your d6s here.
Oh,
Since
I
it's
can roll
a-
my
it's a-
D6s here?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe. No,
I mean, the worst that could happen is I get hurt, but you'll still succeed.
that's true.
Sacrifice yourself for the
Yeah,
greater
I
good.
No.
But
Basically,
if I succeed, I'll get
you get a
information
plus.
that gets a +1.
You do get.
The
You
cure.
basically get a +1 automatically on your roll.
Should I try it?
But if you do
I say go for it.
lose, Marlo, the monster might and well, you could choose later, but we'll figure it out.
right,
You
I'm
can
gonna
do it
roll.
first. Okay,
I roll a 9.
nice. You still are able to hold them, but you do get the +1 for this cure roll, but choose one of the following. You
Oh
lose.
no, we lost a supply again.
Lost a supply. Oh no.
Oh,
You gotta be
no.
careful.
Not the
Not-
supply.
not
My
our-
goddamn backpack is
supplies.
just got a big hole in it now.
I just ran into you and knocked like a pot out of it.
Hi.
Oh
I'm
no, the supply is gone.
But
Gotta
I
be
think its
careful.
wound has a weakness too. Blah 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 blah. +1.
Just blaming Dakota for losing the supplies.
Yeah, it's
Dakota's
Dakota's
like,
fault.
Oh
Blame the
no.
intern.
Anyway, so you get a +1 for this roll. So good luck in applying the cure.
Okay,
Go,
so
Doctor,
now we're all
go.
gonna roll.
Did
We're all gonna
Indira want to
roll.
add a character D4 or no?
You can if you want to. So basically what'll happen is
What'd
do
you
even
roll?
need
We're each rolling one, right? Because I rolled a
Yeah.
7.
roll the 7.
I rolled a 7 total with my 7. Yeah, 7 total.
Okay.
I rolled an 11 total with
Oh,
the 8
nice.
plus a d4.
Awesome. Okay.
Did you roll
So
an 8 and a 4? Did you roll max?
No, 8, 9,
No,
10, 11.
that's 12.
and
I
8 and
can't
a
do
3.
fucking math. Leave me alone. Let's go.
Still close enough.
all right. The Kachuka looks how are you gonna present this cure to Kachuka?
Just like each of us gathering a piece of it and like kind of presenting
like
it.
showing, presenting, and then having Lola tell stories, having Mary tell stories as we show all of the things.
Ken
I like to
sounds an
think
intervention.
Dr. Sintra is passing things to Dakota to show.
Basically, Marlo and Joe, you tell Kachuka of Joseph. You tell them about how Joseph has been so lonely and how he still remembers when Kachuka first appeared and at the mold room. And then Indira, you tell Kachuka about the food that Mary cooked for everybody and how delicious it was. Dr. Sintra, maybe you ended up explaining to Kachuka, hey, look, this phantom car, we took a picture of it. So you don't have to like imagine it anymore. It's there. It's there. You're seeing it. And Mary and Lola, well, right now she's Rora. Mary and Rora are telling stories about when they first met and showing the plushie. And Kachuka, you see Kachuka smiling and getting bigger, still bigger, getting bigger and bigger and bigger still. But somehow that gold liquid is getting smaller, almost disappearing as Kachuka has now overtaken the whole cart. But she goes through you. She goes through all of you. It doesn't hurt, but it feels warm inside your hearts because she's there for you. She's thanking you for the stories, for reminding her of when she is. I believe, Marlo, you have a final move after symbiosis when the
Yes, I do. I have a soft narrative whisper. After the monster is cured, I can spend 1 ace and wax poetically, but I think we're out of aces now.
I mean, yeah. So we'll just skip that.
Yeah. Think
we'll
we use
just
those
skip-
aces for a good thing.
Yes. And now we are going to move on. And by moving on, I'll explain that later. You are able to if you want to play this game again with the same character. By the way, I run Monster Care Squad on my Discord, and this is the same world that I'm running it in. If you ever want to play again, you do get to use the same characters. Anyway, Kachuka is healed. Kachuka,
Yay!
everybody that's been stuck in a loop has woken up, and Rora remains as her middle-aged self. You know her as Ma'am Aurora, strict middle-aged teacher. But that's not the character that she's showing everyone. She's at home. This is her home. This is her home. This has have been her home before she became a specialist. And she's been introducing you to everybody. And as the train city starts to stop by, you spend a week there, and you're enjoying everybody's company. You bring people to the mold room. You're showing people how to see and experience the phantom room, and basically your name has been written in one of the carts. I think cart 55 to 78 has been named after each and every one of you because they want to remember how you saved the train city. And as you are leaving, as you arrive at Tanaris Mall, Kachuka has been with you, all five of you, including Dakota. And she gives you, each of you, a plushie. You all, it is a plushie that you are aware looks exactly like Kachuka. And it looks brand new. It looks like if you dropped it on mud, it wouldn't like get dirty at all. That's the feeling that you have of
It's
this.
been sprayed with the water repellent stuff.
Yes. Basically beautiful, beautiful thing. And that is where we'll end today's Time to Care Monster Care Squad game. I hope everybody had a great time, because I did, and I'm glad to introduce this world that I love to everybody here. But enough about that. Let's talk about all the people that made this show super great. Let's start with Jay. Before you outro and tell people what you did, what you're doing, or whatever. Tell me one thing about tonight's game that was your favorite. Oh, is it too bright? Did
I took off
doctors...
my glasses and it's really bright. I really bamboozled myself, didn't I?
Just put the glasses back on.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. I think. So I've never played this game before, so this is my first time experiencing this. I I liked the banter with Dakota. That was funny. This character or this archetype of character is one that I do better playing in play-by-post format.
I think so too.
Because I write a very exacting, like type A personality very well, but acting that is a lot more difficult, especially when the character is someone who is very intelligent and has knowledge that I do not have. My only qualification to be a doctor is that I've watched every episode of Grey's Anatomy, and that is it. That is all I have.
I thought that was enough.
Yeah, you know, I should have a medical degree. I don't know what you're talking about. But I own a lab coat because I play so many doctors in tabletop games that I thought it would be worth it to buy a lab coat. But I really liked that. I always love time shenanigans. I played a Star Trek game once that also was a whole time loop thing, so it's fun. Um, uh, yeah, this was really cool, and I liked how all of our different characters used our strengths to help solve this problem.
Any new projects, anything that you want to share
Yes,
where
of
we can find you?
course. Hello everybody. Again, thank you for coming. My name is Jay. I use they them, and you can find me online at Twitter at Nalawu or at NalaDraws if you want to see my artwork. I'm a professional illustrator and art director, working full-time freelance in the tabletop games community. Besides art, I also do sensitivity reading, cultural consulting, voice acting, and am a tabletop RPG streamer, performer, etc. All of the stuff. This week, I'm actually involved in a lot of things, and I want to plug that stuff really quickly. Tomorrow will be episode, I think it's 3, yeah, episode 3 of Visions of Gold, which is a D&D 5th edition stream. We're playing through Call of the Netherdeep, and I am playing a tall, buff, awkward as hell bodyguard of one of the other PCs. And that is going to be 3 p.m. In the afternoon Eastern time on the Lady May's Twitch channel. And then Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on Frenzy Roll Dice is the finale of No Peace in Death, which is an Urban Shadows game. There is a likelihood that my character might die, and it is going to be great, and I will cry. It'll be a good death. It would be very narratively rewarding if my character dies, and I am very excited. But I also might cry. And then on Friday, I have 2 things. I am a part of the Transplanar RPG and Tabletop RPG Gifts joint project thing. And I am going to be moderating a panel called Our Voices, Our Stories, about the empowerment that people of color get when we get to tell our own stories and share our culture through games. So I'll be moderating that at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Transplanar RPG's channel. And then later that night, I'm also playing in the Masks one-shot at 10 p.m. It's going to be really late. 10 p.m. Eastern, I will be playing in a Masks game. But yes, if you follow my Twitter at Nalawu, you will find all that information because I just talked for a really long time and I always do that, so I'm sorry.
That's
But
okay.
follow me on Twitter and you'll get all of those announcements. And you'll find me doing the absolute most. Anywhere
Jay
I go.
commits to the bit,
I commit to the bit.
and it's important.
It's important that
and
you know that.
it is important. Now we're gonna go to April, who played our monster tracker, Marlo.
Hi,
Tell us
everyone.
everything.
My favorite part was the mold room. I don't know. I just love the mold room so much, and our weird little sidetrack, the history of the mold. April really wants to know how this mold works. I actually am very interested, and it's weird. I love it. This game was so much fun. Thank you. You did a phenomenal job DMing. I have no idea why you were nervous. I mean, I totally get it, but also you have no reason to be. You could find me all over the net as April Raygun. On Tuesdays, you could find me over on the amphitheater playing a Redwall 5e game called Eualia, with Duval as their DM, and I'm on a bunch of other stuff.
Sorry,
Duval.
I can't help it every time.
Well, I used to live in Jacksonville, so it's even harder for me because that is just a thing you do in Florida. It's just yell Duval for some reason.
Florida. Oh,
Florida's
Florida.
weird, y'all. I can't explain
The more
it.
I learn about Florida, the more confused I get.
I lived there for a long time, and trust me, it's confusing. But also, I'm also going to be part of the TTRPG Gifts Transplanar event this weekend. But I'm going to be on their last game, so find me there Saturday at 1 p.m. playing a D&D one-shot with some very amazing people. So make sure to come out, check us out, because it's AAPI History Month, and we're important. And everyone in this room knows it. I don't know why I'm preaching to you guys. You all know we matter. So yay, come check us out. And thank you to this channel for doing this event as well. You're amazing.
Yay! Now we're going to go to Christiana, who played Indira, who is Dakota's resident crush. Hi.
That is something I would love to explore. But
I'll come back and play Dakota for the game.
yeah. Actually, let me know when you do that because I'll be there. But hi, I'm Christiana or Chris. You can find me at Carpe Christie on Twitter. I use she, her pronouns. And let's see, tomorrow night and for the next 6 Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be on Weave the Tale, playing their Lore of Athera game. It is super cool. We're using this new online system like in lieu of Roll20, but it's so much more like artistically done, and it has all of these cool features, and we're beta testing it, and it's really fun. Come check it out. We have a lot of really cool characters and people that a lot of you may recognize in the game as well. Also, Glyza, fantastic job today. If you're still in chat and you're not just lurking, y'all should maybe I don't know, drop a GG in chat for Glyza. This was a great game. Great game.
Thank you. What was your favorite
put a
part?
GG in chat.
Oh, my favorite part was honestly just you being NPCs. Just like every extra thing that you did, I was there and I was alive for it.
Chris and I were like talking in our private messages when the mold scene was happening because both of us zoned out at the very beginning and we came back thinking you guys were talking to sentient mold and we were so confused for the longest time.
The mold is
great.
sentient.
It was fantastic.
The mold is sentient. It is a living mold.
You know,
we thought you were talking to it, and we were we were trying to figure out what was going on. It was great.
Yeah, but that was a great time. You can also catch me in a couple months. I don't know when it's gonna drop, but we're about to record the second episode of this RPG horror themed podcast. It's super cool because we're kids in camp, or actually it's more like scouts. And then we're also grown-ups, so we have cool time warp things, and it's really scary. And we're working with the creator of the RPG itself, RJ Cresswell. It's called Action RPG, and it's gonna be really spooky. So follow me on Twitter if you want more news about that.
Follow Chris. Do it.
Okay, I'm done.
Finally, but definitely not the least of all of our players tonight, it's Maya, who played Joe with the backpack.
I had a big old backpack. We never used it, and it got torn.
It got torn apart. Oh no, we lost supplies. Oh no.
Oh no.
Ruh-roh.
Yep. My name's Maya. I played Joe. I had a fucking fantastic time. My favorite part was definitely also the mold room, but specifically it was getting to run around like wild people with April and have that interaction with that man. That was just it was beautiful. You can find me at Anxious Maya on Twitter and Twitch. I am going to be doing more things, hopefully coming soon. Mostly I'm just going to be hanging out with people and being myself. I don't know what I'm saying. But before I throw it back to you, Glyza, to wrap it up, I would like to really, really reiterate Chris's point, which was that, Glyza, you did a fucking incredible job. This was so much fun. And if everybody in chat should shower them in praise and love, please. That's kind of a threat. Not really, but
if you have Twitter, you should tweet at Classical Glyza and say
that was so
GG.
much fun.
So much fun.
That was so much fun, and I would have you did an incredible job. That was amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. It's my turn.
Fun game.
My favorite part is being able to introduce Lola O'Ring to you. Yes. I love Aurora. I have played her in multiple games in Monster Care Squad. If there are people who in my Discord who played Buster Care Squad. You have met her as either Grandmaffa or Lola Owring, and I love her, and I'm glad that you like her, and I'm glad that this is the first time she's done a little bit more than just, all right, here's the assignment, get out of here. So I'm very happy to be able to just bring her to life, and I'm glad that maybe you like it. I'm Classical Glyza everywhere on the internet. I am a person of many hats. I'm a podcast host. I'm a streamer. I'm a writer. I'm a TTRPG personality. I'm also a talk show host once a month on Fridays. But basically, find everything I do by checking out at Classical Glyza on Twitter. I'm also everywhere else, Classical Glyza. I am in a lot of things, and I do not have my script in front of me because I forgot. I usually am very good at that. But check out TTRPG GIFs later in the week where I will be playing masks, and I've already created my character. They are going to be, and I'm already going to tell you guys, it's a scion with supervillain parents who aren't really supervillains. They just really love their daughter, kid a lot. I don't even know. I'm just rambling. But that's it for tonight. Thank you. And thanks for watching.